Positive HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's a pretty nice Friday afternoon. 75 for the high, so we're a good 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. Call it partly sunny. Tonight, partly cloudy. Evening temperatures drop into the upper 60s. 58 for the low. Saturday, partly sunny. Couple of thunderstorms could be popping up. Saturday afternoon, 82. Sunday, partly sunny with scattered thunderstorms, 79. Expect a lot of dry time, though, this weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749 or biglou.com.
I get asked a lot, what's the difference between the efficiency ratings and the numbers that customers hear while they're getting prices? Pretty much the difference is the numbers. As far as actual savings, there is a very easy common sense way to explain the differences in the energy ratings and the types of energy rating on the furnaces, what you can get and what you can't get, and what's best suited for you, what you actually do need, or what you absolutely do not need. You'll be surprised and very happy that you called me. So call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. This is the only number that you need to call. 314-293-2600 or on the website Bart Inman. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
The Muni's epic 106th season begins June 17th. The summer includes Les Miserables, Dreamgirls, Disney's The Little Mermaid, Fiddler on the Roof, Waitress, In the Heights, and Anything Goes. See all 7 Broadway hits for as low as $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
The Muni in Forest Park.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The gag order stops me from talking
about people and responding when they say things about me. We have people saying things about me, and I'm not allowed to respond. So this judge has taken away my constitutional right. And as the Republican candidate and somebody that's leading Biden by a lot, I should be able to respond. But this guy's got me with the gag order. Now we're filing, I think today, a constitutional motion to get this out. We'll be filing a lawsuit on the constitutionality of it. But if somebody says something about me and I'm not allowed to respond, that's never happened before. Thank you.
I can't help but think that the gag order is like an in-kind donation to Donald Trump's campaign. The amount of things that he's not saying that he would normally be saying right now with nicknames and insults and stuff, he's still saying it, but significantly less. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. That is the daily. I mean, I can play that clip every day that Donald Trump is in court, and it's going to sound the same. And I agree with the man. I think that he is correct when he's assessing how unfair this whole situation has really materialized for President Trump. But I do think that he has a pretty significant opportunity to turn the lemons into lemonade and make something of this on a political scale that he would not have been able to if they would have just been, I'll say finding him guilty in the court of public opinion. Taking it this far has gotten the eyes of American voters across the country in a way that I don't think that he could have done on his own. And we'll have to see if that even matters come November. We are pretty far away from Election Day still, even though it is creeping up upon us. If you have any questions about whether or not there's a tone shift in the country at this point in time, check out these campus protests. And I can't help, I had to say hotty toddy. And the Ole Miss way of taking care of business is pretty impressive. They're pretty happy about this. There's a whole crowd of college students that are singing and waving goodbye to the protesters as they are being removed from whatever particular area on campus they were. And it's kind of one of these things that's catching steam. Young people are showing up to the protests clad in red, white, and blue, wearing American flags, holding American flags, singing patriotic songs. And listen, if you were a Martian and you landed here in one of these college campuses today and you saw the one side and the other, you are 100% going with the patriotic frat boys, which I don't think is fair because there are girls there too, and they are participating in kind. One of these sides is joyful, and one of these sides is angry. One of these sides is celebrating something. One of these sides is very hostilely protesting something. And, there have been a lot of really horrible, awful things over the course of history that have required anger to move people, to stir up revolution that was very necessary. But there always was a joyful cause at the end of it. And I continue to ask myself, I should say, what do these protesters truly seek out? What is the conclusion, the natural success of the course of their protests? What does the end look like? And I think if you're honest with yourself, success for these protesters looks like the failure of the country. Listen to this protester from UCLA.
It's more than divestment as well. I think given the fact that the University of California is founded on colonialism, it's inherently a violent institution. There needs to be an addressment of U.S. imperialism and its ties to the UC system and how it perpetuates war and violence abroad. Not only abroad, but also here, locally.
Yeah, here at UCLA, the oppression that these people are suffering under. I don't think you could even begin to understand how stupid you sound. How did you get into college? And now I'm like, oh, they made a bunch of programs where they got rid of ACT scores and SAT scores, and now they're like you can come for whatever particular DEI reason they can muster. This is the one that makes me, I'm amused at the stupidity of a lot of these people, especially amused at the fact that they're like, ooh, camera, microphone. I'm going to run up and sound stupid to everybody, not just the people who I'm surrounded by here at these protests. But this one, this is in New York, and you might be able to tell by the clip here. This one might have, I don't know how many book smarts this guy's got, but he does have some street smarts.
So what will you guys do when the police come right in here and, end up maybe handcuffing people and arresting them?
We'll do what we always done. We'll get arrested, just like the criminals in the subway. They're always right back out in 24 hours.
24 hours in New York City. That's right. That's about correct. So that's kind of some of the sentiment we're hearing here on campus.
So you have a protester out there who is asked by a reporter, like, hey, the natural conclusion here is you're going to get arrested. And he's like, yeah, and we'll be on 24 hours. Who cares? That is a problem that is outside of these protests. That is a societal breakdown that is being used and manipulated by these protesters to continue to cause chaos. If you don't have law and order, then of course you have these types of things happening. It is interesting. I saw someone say it's clear that these, I think it was on, what's it called? I want to make sure I get this right, because there are some things on this Twitter profile that I have been very much amused by, and I just followed them today, officially. Old Row Official. Are you familiar with Old Row?
I am not.
Feels very Barstool Sports.
Yes.
Like there are some things I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
But I'm amused by other things. But they said clearly the protesters have never played an SEC schedule. And I thought, I see that. Yeah. About the Ivy League and the SEC, this is translating outside of football into protesting. And you got to really bring your A game against those SEC protesters, apparently. Marco Rubio, who is on the short list of Donald Trump's VP candidates, according to, I think it was Bloomberg. I hope I got that right.
Yeah.
Burgum, Rubio, Scott, Tulsi?
No,
Tulsi. Who is the other one? It was, J.D. Vance. I don't mind J.D. Vance. I'm glad he's in the Senate. But Marco Rubio is on the currently reported shortlist, which I don't even believe. Nobody was like, Mike Pence. Who's Mike Pence? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to come out of left field, probably right field. Hopefully right field. Tulsi Gabbard's in left field. Let's listen to Senator Marco Rubio.
What I am saying is common sense. You're a visitor. You're not even an American. You're a foreign national. You're here because we gave you a visa to be here temporarily, and now you're out there defending and supporting Hamas, a terrorist organization. You need to go. That's what this resolution asks the administration to do. And I hope we can get a vote on the Senate, so at least everyone will know where everybody here stands.
Yeah, put people on record. Let people know who stands where. And if I were the liberal left right now, even the super crazy progressive liberal left, I would be wanting these protests to wrap up pretty soon. The political collateral damage of what they're doing is too great for the Democratic Party, which at the same time is ironic because usually they thrive in chaos. Did we pull yesterday? I didn't see it, but did we the Morning Joe sound, Brad?
No.
Of Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski. I think maybe Jen Psaki was. No, it wasn't Jen Psaki. It was Al Sharpton. And they're going back and forth and talking about these protests. And I think it was Al Sharpton was like, kind of articulating what it looks like to see these protests and being a little frustrated by it. And he's like, what we saw on January 6th was people just walking around the Capitol. And now, and Mika's like, vapors. Oh, do not compare this to January 6th. That's a quote. That was the clip that we pulled. Sorry, Mika. It would be catastrophic for the far left wing of the Democratic Party to have gotten so big, uncontainable by the powers that be that pull the strings. The Republican Party has those people too on their side. It is not just a Democrat-only thing. But it would be incredibly ironic if these people who are protesting Israel and cheering for the eradication of Israel and the Jewish people that live there if this is what actually breaks down the whole January 6th insurrection thing. And Mika, like, she couldn't even keep the words, oh, don't make this about January 6th. That's the way she sounds. And try to, like, stop it right in its tracks. January 6th is like the holy grail for them right now. Enough people saw that happen in real time and remember where they were when that was happening, and it has a very emotional, visceral response for people on the left and the right. They need to keep that right where it is. It's kind of like a nuclear bomb. It's like where it is right now. If it's just a nuclear power plant, everything is stable. It's working for them. It's churning out what they need. But if it becomes unstable, then people start to get panicky. You know, when we talk about the slippery slope, you know how Republicans and conservatives and people who, you know, these are not all exactly the same people. Republicans aren't all conservatives and vice versa. And traditionalists aren't all Republicans and conservatives aren't all traditionalists. But I think on the whole, most people who ascribe to those types of values, they just kind of want to keep things where they are. They don't want to shift. What is the Overton window? They don't want to move from where they are to say, this is what is acceptable. And if you expand that or you move it to one side or the other, now this is what is acceptable. The slippery slope suggests that, like, once you start moving it, it will have the inertia that will not stop moving. Think back to when the squad started forming. Think back to when AOC got in office. Think back to the very few times, but consistent times, that we would hear Nancy Pelosi could not get control of the squad. They were not playing her game. They were not subscribing to the way things were going to work in the Democrat Party. And the squad was one person, 4-person. You can't have a one-person squad. You probably can, if you identify as such. They have like a 4-person squad, and now it's like it's like 8-people squad. Yeah. It's now diverse with men and women. I assume that's what they refer to themselves as. They are bigger and broader. We have our very own squad member here in St. Louis. What a dumpster fire that's been, Cori Bush. The squad got bigger. The Overton window shifts. The slippery slope gets so slippery that in my mind, it's kind of like the ski slope where you're just slipping down and slipping down and slipping down, but you're going so fast that pretty soon you're about ready to launch. And wherever that goes, gravity will win in the end. You're going to have some time in the air. You might consider it fun for a moment, but you will crash and burn. Mm-hmm. And they are past the bottom right now in launch mode. And they're going to try to stick the landing before November, and the Democrats can't control it. The Democrat Party, the big D's out there, cannot control what is taking place on these college campuses. The powers that be, the dollars that be, that exist out there to try to invest in this type of chaos consistently because they have money and they have wealth and they have power. Isn't that like one of the greatest ironies, that you can have so much power that you can buy chaos wherever you want, and you can buy people who will choose not to prosecute crime whenever you want? Isn't it interesting that people like that can pick and choose the areas that they're willing to destroy to retain power? I think that's incredibly interesting. And if you want to be a party of the people, if you want to be a political party that starts with the people, that starts with America and Americans, I don't know, what would you say first? The progressive left, that slippery slope has sloped.
They're airborne.
And they can't get it back. You want to be a part of that because you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know how ugly this is going to get. They don't know how ugly it's going to get. And the people who are investing in this, the people who are supplying tents from encampment to encampments, it's even calling them encampments, I feel, is too much credit to the situation we're seeing across the country. If you want to attach yourself to the Democrat Party, you are attached to that. Unless you are calling it out. And I've seen a few people who are on the left who are calling it out. Unless you are vocally pushing back against this type of behavior, you're attached to it. And this is the exact same bullcrap that was shoveled onto Republicans when it comes to January 6th, except for the January 6th big lie was that we on the Republican side of the aisle were doing in places what we're seeing happen in campuses all across the country. And then trying to make it that if you are somehow or another ever voted Republican before, that you are an insurrectionist, you are the one who is yelling, hang Mike Pence. And the answer is no. That's not the way it works. But you drew the rules. You set the map. This is the battlefield for 2024. And the person who's supposed to be leading the Republican message, you put him in court. So we'll see if you fare better arguing against the American people, which is actually, going back to my original point, how it should be in the first place, where the American people's message is what is heard through conservative ideals, because the idea of conserving means you're conserving government, shrinking government. The American voice should be crystal clear through its representation in the government, because the we the people part is the most important part. Our laws, our regulations, the Constitution limit government. And that needs to be the core principle of what Republicans have to offer. And if you want to put Donald Trump in a courtroom, if you want to put a gag order on him so that he can't say anything, I guess we'll just have to pivot to someone else to speak up. And who would have thought it had been the SEC frat boys? But they're doing a damn good job. And I'm looking at every one of them and looking at my 14-year-old son, who's starting to look like a young man. He definitely looks like a young man. And going, I want to show my kid these boys. I want to show my child what it looks like to be brave, to be bold, to be outspoken, and to be proud. Because we have that example out there right now. And we certainly have the converse. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to some more news of the day. Very excited to have Illinois State Senators Jason Plummer and Erica Harris. They're coming in studio at the beginning of the 1 o'clock hour to give you the update, the ins and outs of what the Democrats tried to do. State Representative Jay Hoffman, Southern Democrat. You listening right now in Illinois, you might be represented by Jay Hoffman, a Democrat who tried to take a Senate bill that was about DCFS, protecting children, and bastardize it into something that would make it easier for another neighboring Democrat to keep her spot in the General Assembly come November. Well, I think we won one yesterday, and we're going to talk about it with those senators in studio at 1 o'clock. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, smart economic move right now. And if you're like me, you got to look for every smart economic move you can make here in 2024. Let me talk to you a little bit about the Bagel Loan. It's not just for people who are buying homes, but it definitely is for people who are buying homes. If you are in need of acquiring a mortgage for a home purchase, Stewart's American Mortgage has got the Bagel Loan, and you're going to pay zero in closing costs to go through it. No dollars, no hidden fees, no closing costs, nothing. Google the Bagel Loan or 314-324-4440 to get a direct line to Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. Now let's talk about people who have used the Bagel Loan like I have for a refinance. We bought our home in 2015, and I have refinanced twice. I think it was once in 2019 or 2018 and once in 2020 or something like that. And both times I was able to drastically lower my rate, and I didn't pay closing costs. I trust Stewie with my income and my mortgage in total, and I encourage you to check with him to see how he can help you put yourself in the best and smartest economic position. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
What's that I smell? Can I search your car? You know where this is going. What's in that cigar? I know my rights and you do too. I want to talk to my lawyer, not you.
This is Mike Carter, founder of DidYouBlow.com and DWISTL.com. DWIs are complicated matters, and at DWISTL.com, we have 10 attorneys and paralegals working on every DWI matter.
I want my phone call.com.
So put DWISTL.com or DidYouBlow.com in your phone's contacts right now at 314-895-4040.
I just text 895-4040.
Again, go to DWISTL.com or DidYouBlow.com.
Calling all bobblehead collectors and animal lovers. This is one you won't want to miss. Join us at the ballpark on Saturday, May 4th, when the Cardinals host the Chicago White Sox and the 19th annual Purina Pooches in the ballpark. That day, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will receive a bobblehead of Adam Wainwright with his lovable retirement gift, his new pup Louie, courtesy of Purina. For full details, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Adam Wainwright, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Fashionistas, be ready. The high-demand Cardinals Purse giveaway returns to Busch Stadium on Sunday, May 5th. That day, the Cardinals host the White Sox, and 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home an exclusive Cardinals purse, courtesy of Edward Jones. This tan handbag features a gold metal chain and a mystery bonus strap. Following the game, kids 15 and younger can participate in the Haichu Kids Run the Bases. Full details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
A people, a state of mind, all in one. It's Wiggins America, and it's every Saturday from 6 to 8 a.m. and Sunday evenings from 5 to 7. So stamp your passport. Wiggins America, 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
And although there's pain in my chest, I still wish you the best. But I forget you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't afford a Ferrari, but that don't mean I can't get you there.
April non-farm payrolls expanded much less than expected, 175,000. We're looking for a number much closer to 250,000, and at least up to this point, in the rearview mirror, 303,000. There are revisions, minus 22,000 for a 2-month span. Now, if we look at manufacturing, it went from 0 to 8,000, so there is some improvement. And by the way, that 303,000 last month went up 315,000, which means last month's 315,000 was the best since January of 23. Then we go to 175,000, which actually is the weakest since October of last year.
When you hear those reports, are you like me and you just go cross-eyed and you're like, is it good or is it bad? That's where I am. It's like you're never going to tune into the show and have us be rattling off numbers and then like acting like we can assess those and break those down, because none of us here could do that. We are like, gas is freaking high.
Yeah. I just like Chris Santelli's reaction.
Yeah.
Like, it comes into the numbers are coming in and ooh.
But
inflation is hotter than expected.
Hotter than expected. I have a montage of hotter than expected somewhere in this gigantic file I have. I listened to them though, And that's CNBC, and they are saying at the end, like, not great. Go to Donald Trump.
The economy, people are asking me about the economy. It's doing terribly, and interest rates are obviously not going to be able to be reduced prior to the election because inflation is roaring back. Gasoline's way up, other things are way up, and it's roaring back like they are very surprised. I'm not surprised, but they're surprised. I guess they're surprised. That's what they say anyway.
I just play those two clips back to back because one is full of information and it's giving you specific factual details. And he's like, it sucks. And I'm like, he knows it sucks. Got my vote. It's not really a whole lot more complicated than that. And that's what Donald Trump does. He speaks directly to the American people. I mean, I do believe that the man can get into the weeds on details if he wanted to. You don't run a business operation the way he has without being able to discuss and know and understand numbers. If, like, Joe Biden is not able to do what Donald Trump just did, what Joe Biden will tell you is what he needs you to believe. There is a gigantic difference between spinning something and saying, you know, which is what he does this all the time where he talks about adding the most jobs. After they shut everybody down, they were like, nobody is allowed to work, and then we're going to become president, and we're going to let people work again, and then we're going to claim victory over that. It's pretty much what happened there. I get disgusted with the revisions that take place. You know, there's a jobs report or a positive inflation report, a good inflation report that comes out, and then we find out 30 days later, oh, there were some revisions to that last one. But nobody talks about it. It's ridiculous. Enter Donald Trump, and he's like, it's bad. Everybody knows it's bad. Everybody knows what it's like to go to the gas pump. It's good politics, but it's also true. And whenever you hear Donald Trump talking about those specific issues, and there's a huge difference between a CNBC reporter giving you the numbers because the people tuning into CNBC are looking for that type of stuff, and a politician and what they do with those numbers. I don't think that Joe Biden can hang with Donald Trump in a debate situation where that conversation is happening, because Joe Biden will look the most foolish he's looked so far when he's telling you how good you have it because of him. Because everyone's going to say, that's not true. The one thing that I understand about myself, this is what Americans can say across the country individually, is this does not feel better since you've taken it over. And Donald Trump can, you know, point to the scoreboard and say, yeah, it sucks and it would be better. And I do really believe that Donald Trump would be able to economically, drastically turn around the economy in our country very quickly. Steve Moore always says, and Steve Moore is a Monday guest on our show and has been for years, and he's a Trump economic advisor. I've asked him this multiple times, and he always has the same response. They need 6 months. 6 months is when you and I will see the improvement. Let's look at what DeSantis is doing.
And I look forward to saving money for the state. So whatever we can do, to be able to, I haven't signed the budget yet. We're still going through it. But part of it, we started a accelerated debt repayment program because we've already paid off over 25% of the state's total debt just since I've been in office. And we now have the lowest per capita debt of any state in the United States.
They've paid off 25% of the state's debt since DeSantis took office. How do you argue with that? You just make crap up, just like the national Democrats do. We're going to speak with 2 Illinois senators who watched the Democrats do in the General Assembly yesterday what the Democrats do Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to get the story from them at 1:05, so I want you to stick around for that. But, like, what do you want to see Illinois do to get their heads out of the sand? And that's probably the nicest place I could assess the heads location to be. And start getting us, are we going to turn Illinois into a red state? No, because I don't think we can turn Chicago red. The Democrats might be able to, though. The Democrats might be able to do that come this November. We'll see. I think the convention is going to be a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to somebody, I don't know if it was last night on my way home or this morning on my way in, but they were talking about the fireworks that are going to be going off at the convention. And they said, but the other thing is, too, make no mistake, there will be a 5-mile perimeter around that convention.
Wall?
Yeah. They will have that thing
alligators?
locked down, and they won't let these protesters get close. So, we'll see.
We've lived in Illinois so long that when I hear DeSantis say, we've eliminated 25% of our debt. I almost forgot that was possible. I almost forgot that these things could still happen by a government.
Didn't Bill Clinton do that? Didn't
Bill
he shrink the debt?
Clinton and Newt Gingrich balanced the budget. That was their bipartisan big win.
Didn't they reduce the debt?
I think that they eventually did. I mean,
And that's a Democrat and Republican.
yeah, they got together and they said, "Hey, let's be responsible here." I said this to Annie. I think that Illinois needs to find out who's leading the GOP, who is the person that is the mastermind behind the strategy in Florida, and figure out how they can implement the Florida strategy here in Illinois. And that would take them from deep blue to light blue to purple to red to deep red. I think that they could do it.
Or we could put it on the timeline of common sense. Doesn't even have to have a color. It could be whatever colors you want it to be. We need to go the opposite direction of the current color that we're in. I probably helplessly have hope that that could happen. And I do believe Illinois is one of those places that I think the country is kind of reflecting this right now. How mad does it have to get before enough people go, okay, fine, we'll try something else? Because I see that happening in Illinois, in Chicago. And honestly, folks, the only place it really matters dramatically is for the state, is for that to happen in Chicago. Everybody's talking about New York and New York City and Donald Trump's walking pizzas into fire departments and going into, I guess, was it Harlem and bodegas in Harlem, or Dr. Jill says Bogadas.
Bogadas.
It's not even the right G&D location. It's not only a mispronunciation, she's mispronouncing the misspelling of it. But he's making his rounds in New York City, very wisely so. And you know what they're trying to do? They're just trying to get 30% of New York City. They're not trying to turn New York City red. They're trying to get to 30% of the people who vote there to vote red just this time. Even as a protest vote to the Democrats who have let the whole thing go to crap. You get 30% in New York City, you can flip New York red. I got to think that in large part, Illinois and Chicago are the same. Maybe it's not 30%. Actually, I probably can text somebody and find out pretty quickly what the percentage is that needs to be persuaded. I feel like I remember in the governor's race, they were trying to get to 38% of Republicans in Chicago. I don't know why I think 38%, but that number is bouncing around in my head like a ping pong ball right now. I don't think that the Republicans, this is where we are. This is the sad state of affairs. I don't think that Republicans are going to be able to persuade Democrats to vote Republicans, but I do believe that Democrats are going to be able to persuade Democrats to vote Republicans. And I think it's happening in Chicago. I think it's happening in New York City. I would venture to guess that it's happening in a couple places in California, but what they all are doing is leaving and going elsewhere. As long as we don't fumble the ball before the finish line in November, sure seems like the trajectory is headed that way. All right, let's take a quick break. The Be or Not the Be, Wiggins America, right around the corner. You're going to stick around for that. Play the Be or Not the Be with us by joining us on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Gary commented an Ask Me Anything question, which we normally do at 1:25, but I thought I'd throw this out here real quick. Gary said, did Jay get enough signatures yesterday? Jay Keevan is a 27-year Illinois State Police officer who was chief of police in Edwardsville for over 8 years, is a city administrator in the city of Troy in Illinois, and was thinking, I got till June 1st to get my signatures to run as a Republican on the ballot against Katie Stewart in the 112th. And the Democrats said, not so fast. You're going to have to get those signatures in before Friday. So we did what we could possibly try to do to get that done for him. And at 1:05, we'll have some state senators in to tell you the story of what the Democrats did and what Madison County and St. Clair County did in response. That's at 1:05. Be or not the be when we come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Mike Carter here. Too often we lose sight of how fortunate we are to live in Missouri. When I travel out of state on business, people say, Mike Carter, what's so special about Missouri? Well, let's start with the mighty Mississippi and Missouri rivers traversing the state. They were the superhighways of the day, used by French fur trappers and traders. Later, American settlers like Daniel Boone and waves of pioneers drove their teams and wagons along the Boonslick Trail he blazed. Carter Law Offices right now, founded by me, Mike Carter, started and is on Boone's Lick Trail, near where those intrepid settlers crossed the Missouri to harness the land. Rich soils and generations of farm families like my own grandparents made Missouri the breadbasket of America. Drive a few minutes outside our cities and towns, and you'll find yourself passing miles and miles of undulating wheat and corn, farms and ranches that feed our nation. I'm Mike Carter, and I'm proud to live and work in the Show Me State, a place God blessed just a little bit more. Go to MikeCarter.com to see more about our great state of Missouri.
Get ready, folks. Lakeside Renovation and Design is thrilled to invite you to our showroom open house event on Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's the remodeling event of the year. Unlock massive savings in our event thanks to exclusive partnerships with top vendors and suppliers, delicious catering from Sugar Fire, and fantastic giveaways throughout the day. Turn your remodeling dreams into reality. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Lakeside Renovation and Design, where your dream home becomes reality.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seating is limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you close to retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned about more market volatility the closer we get to the election? Would you like to know how linking to the market is smarter and safer than owning the market? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any losses and provide more income than your current plan? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect that retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing. You know, they don't want anybody to go without hot water. So if you call Beast Plumbing, they will get you a water heater installed the same day. That's how quickly they work. They want to be your new plumber. 314-500-LEAK. Tell them Bo sent you to Beast Plumbing.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000, that's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Hey, we've been giving away Cardinals tickets all week. Your last chance is going to be today in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll tell you closer to the time when to be listening for that, but it will be in the 1 o'clock hour today. The poll today, do you karaoke? There are 3 options. Yes, and I'm singing. Yes, but I'm not singing. So you're a 10, but you won't sing. Or no way. Those are the 3 options for the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll of the day. It is a Friday. Let us know, 12:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Patriot Training Foundation trains law enforcement and military at the region's top facility free of charge. Kim Sainanj here. We're raising awareness for the Patriot Training Foundation's mission to serve those who serve our nation. Visit 971talk.com/care to learn more.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
He calls me Pineapple Princess all day as he plays ukulele on the hill above the bay. Pineapple Princess, I love you, you're the sweetest girl I've seen. Someday we're gonna marry and
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins!
The Bee or Not the Bee.
Well, if you're unfamiliar with how to play the bee or not the bee, let me bring you up to speed. I have a bunch of stories in my hand here. Some of them are real stories. Some of them, though, are the Babylon Bee, which is satire. I'm going to read the headline. You have to simply tell me whether you believe that this is the B, satire, or not the B. It's real. Here's the first one. History repeats itself as communists run out of food.
That sounds like the B to me.
Yeah, that's the B.
Yeah, it's the B. History has again repeated itself as communism once again devolved into mass starvation. The commies at Columbia University lasted less than 12 hours before running out of food and pleading for humanitarian aid, setting a new record for the collapse of communist food supplies. Quote, okay, time out on the Intifada revolution. We're out of pizza rolls, said Tara Gentry Smith, protest organizer and self-proclaimed commie.
I'm really annoyed by their demands.
It's pretty brazen.
I saw some of those demands. They were like, we want helmets and flashlights, really bright flashlights that strobe, and knee pads and shoulder pads. And I'm like,
Can't
you
just
want
be like,
riot gear.
Can't you just be like, no?
Absolutely.
And then you just you just wait it out.
I just thought maybe you like pull the fire alarm or put some loud music outside the building and, like you said, just wait them out. Just annoy them.
And what was the end goal?
Or, hear me out, ignore them.
Also possible, but if you have a class in that building.
But they don't. They cancel classes.
Yeah, that's true.
They cancel it.
That's true.
Just be like, fine.
Everybody
when you're
goes.
done, go home. Or don't. Bye.
Yeah. And also, you're not getting DoorDash.
To me, if you either need to ignore them or remove them. I don't like really anything that's in between. Don't wait. Don't be on their time. I don't like it.
Next one, congressional Democrats demand $40 billion for UCLA protest border security.
It's the B.
You think?
I think that's the B.
Sure.
It's the B. The measure intended to use taxpayer funding to create a secure border around the violent mob of protesters gathered on UCLA's campus, including the building of state-of-the-art border walls, as well as cameras, motion and thermal sensors, and the hiring of hundreds of armed guards to patrol the border and ensure no one crosses it illegally. Quote, the safety and security of these protesters is at stake, said House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. We cannot run the risk of having unidentified people entering the Gaza Liberalization Autonomous Zone, many of them without any documentation, and just wandering around without knowing where they're going or what they're planning to do. That was the B. You were right. Next one. Canada is making the first SLGBTQI plus monument in the world.
Straight.
I'm going to call that real.
I'm going to call it straight.
Okay.
Real.
It is real. From the CBC, which is Canada's, BBC.
How do you pronounce that?
CBC?
No.
Which word?
You spelled it in the headline.
Oh, the SLGBTQI plus?
Yeah. How do you say that?
Like as a word?
Yeah.
Chislibicutiai.
I would have thought it would have been like a sh at the end. Or ia.
Silutigabioshibias.
Plus.
I think if I just go, it probably would classify.
No, I think you left one out.
Did I?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be offensive.
Yeah.
From the CBC, the design of the monument centers around a sculpture shaped similar to a thunderhead cloud, meant to embody the strength, activism, and hope of the
Plus.
The $13 million project. Did you hear that? The $13 million project is paid for by the LGBT something Purge Fund and is expected to be unveiled the summer of 2025.
I'm for this because they do not get enough attention and recognition and focus. So
I agree.
I think that this $13 million monument will finally do what it needs to do to make Canadians seem more welcoming.
I agree. I wish that during June, more companies like Oreo, when I go to pick up cookies, would remind me about 2SLGBTQI+.
And how they care about them, but just in June.
Exactly. And I wish that would happen more, because right now it's only like half the products. I want it on everything. Next story. Both sides of University of Alabama protest begin chanting the same thing.
True.
Did you see this?
Oh, yeah.
It is true.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yes, it is. Maven Navarro,
Finally, all agree.
the editor-in-chief of the Crimson White at the University of Alabama, noted an astounding display of unity on Wednesday between protesters and counter-protesters as they all began chanting the same thing. You guessed it.
What are the odds that Joe Biden knows that happened? I'm not asking like a old man question. Like really, truly, that Joe Biden knows that "Let's Go Brandon" was chanted by both sides at these protests. Do you think it's better than 50% chance that he knows?
Yeah, I think he does.
In this particular, I know that he knows the chant exists. But does he know that
I'm talking
this
about
exists?
The fact that there were both sides chanting it in unison, not "Let's Go Brandon," but the other one.
Right.
Do you think he knows that this just happened?
No, I do
don't
not.
think he does either.
I don't.
I think he knows what people deem worthy to tell him. I think that I haven't watched all the other channels, so I don't know how much that they've covered the fact that happened, but I think that they manage him in a way that this type of stuff doesn't break through, because I think that when he sees this stuff is if he finds himself at a podium and a microphone and not enough cards to read off of, he is bothered by these things, and that's when we get Angry Joe.
Yeah.
That's all theory, of course, but I bet you he doesn't know that these things are happening.
No, you're right. I don't think he does either, especially until it gets to like a certain level that most people know, then he probably knows. But a story like this, if it doesn't break through big time, I don't think he does.
Who's that Brandon guy? They love him.
The dark Brandon thing. I don't know if that's working
so
either.
Dumb.
Yeah.
That is such a small. I would bet you that less than 15% of the people listening right now even know what dark Brandon is.
It's an internet. It's a Twitter thing.
It's
isn't
such
it?
a nerd.
Yeah.
Like a you got to be super into politics, nerd level like we are to even understand where it came from. I just don't like that's the type of things that politicos will cook up in a boardroom like, oh, this would be cool. We'll do this. Blah, 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 blah. And then you get all the same people riled up that always get riled up on either side. This is like there's an absolute Trump contingent that does the same thing. Like, oh, that Trump meme is so cool, blah, blah, blah. And all the Trump memers see it.
Uh-huh.
You and I probably see it, but the majority of people don't have any idea what this stuff is because they're trying to live life, not be, bevied by all of these types of political tit for tat all of the time. They just don't care. They got other things to worry about.
American flag defended by frat boy heroes Dylan, and Dylan.
It was true until it took the B turn, is my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's the B. After feeling that their message of hating Israel and America was going unheeded, the pro-terrorist protesters on campus decided to do something that would make Americans more sympathetic to their demands. Take down the American flag. That was when heroes Dylan, and Dylan decided to step in and put a stop to this assault on the nation's symbol of freedom. Quote, "We're not heroes, bro," said Dylan as he changed into a new pastel-colored shirt. "We were just doing what any red-blooded American would do when the Stars and Stripes are under attack."
I see nothing wrong with it.
I don't either.
I don't care if they're named Dylan. We need more Dylans.
Heck yeah.
Go ahead. I still love on the GoFundMe they referred to them as the boat-shoed proletariat.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I love it.
Next one, family of tumbleweeds excitedly makes trip to a Biden rally.
Probably the B.
Yeah, I think I'd lean into that. The family of 3 tumbleweeds, including a dad, a mom, and a little tyke tumbleweed, are representative of a key demographic that Biden needs to lock in to secure the number of electoral votes needed to remain president. According to experts, tumbleweeds are a growing percentage of the population attending President Biden's campaign stops. Quote, "We're thrilled to see so many enthusiastic supporters roll in like this," said one of Biden's campaign spokespersons as the balls of dry brush entered the empty arena to the sound of whistling desert wind.
That's not wrong.
No, it's
Funny
not wrong.
because it's true. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Illinois State Senator Jason Plummer, 55th District. Illinois State Senator Erica Harris, the 56th District. That's my district. In here to break down for us the latest games of the Democrats in the House and in the Senate. And did Jay Keevan get slated, or did he get filed to be a candidate against Katie Stewart, or were the Democrats successful in protecting Katie Stewart from having to have an opponent in November? Let's talk about it when we come back.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right, nice, soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal 3-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Prosecutors want the jury to connect the dots. Lisa Brady, Fox News. They accuse former President Trump of acting on campaign motives, not personal reasons, to silence claims of affairs during the 2016 presidential race. And they're using detailed testimony about people and evidence not directly tied to the charges.
They're continuing to say this was a campaign issue. It'll be interesting to see if the jury finds that, links all those things together. But again, this is a case about the counts alleged against former President Trump are about falsifying business documents. The jury's got to be drawn back to that. The defense has to do a good job at trying to take away the emotion from these sleazy deals and the allegations and women stepping forward and that Access Hollywood tape. Can they do that?
Fox's Shannon Bream, former aide Hope Hicks, testifying today. She doesn't remember being part of a 2015 meeting at Trump Tower, including tabloid publisher David Pecker, on ways to protect then-candidate Trump. Pecker has testified Hicks was in and out of that meeting. A congressman indicted, but Texas Democrat Henry Cuellar says he and his wife are innocent. They're facing bribery and conspiracy charges more than 2 years after his home and a campaign office were raided as federal prosecutors investigated businessmen with ties to Azerbaijan.
In a statement, Cuellar says he sought legal advice from the House Ethics Committee. He says, quote, "The actions I took in Congress were consistent with the actions of many of my colleagues." Cuellar has always cooperated in the probe.
Fox's Chad Pergram on the Hill, an attorney for Cuellar, said recently he was not the target of an investigation. Just getting reports from Canada that 3 Indian nationals are charged in the murder of a Sikh separatist leader, an assassination last year that led to diplomatic tension when Canada's Prime Minister reported credible allegations, he said, that India was involved. U.S. prosecutors later announced a foiled plot to kill other prominent activists. America's listening to Fox News.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's a pretty nice Friday afternoon, 75 for the high, so we're a good 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. Call it partly sunny. Tonight, partly cloudy. Evening temperatures drop into the upper 60s, 58 for the low. Saturday, partly sunny. A couple of thunderstorms could be popping up. Saturday afternoon, 82. Sunday, partly sunny with scattered thunderstorms, 79. Expect a lot of dry time, though, this weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here, and so are St. Louis's conservative thought leaders. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Are you retired or retiring soon? Do you know how much money you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. These may feel like scary times. Several economists are saying that a recession is imminent. So what do? Ancient wisdom says plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have an actionable plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan is executed to take advantage of market gains, but protect you from market losses. We would like to give you a free, no-obligation consultation to help you do all three. We will help you discover your magic number and give you the roadmap to get there. Call now to schedule your free consultation. 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108. 800-508-6108. Don't wait. Call 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Mom deserves the best this Mother's Day. Let Grill Master Tony do the cooking. Mark Cox here. Get his sliced brisket in au jus sauce, his roasted sesame and garlic baby potatoes, the sautéed green beans, the smoked Gouda, mac and cheese, and even French bread from the Hill. Orders are due by May 8th for Mother's Day. He does corporate lunches as well, with hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, or his delicious brisket. Order online today. It's grillmastertony.com.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Grateful that you're here with us on a Friday afternoon, beautiful Friday afternoon, I might add. And I think it feels a little sunnier today because in the last 48 hours or so, at least from the state of Illinois side, I've talked a bit about this yesterday on my social media as well. The Democrats did what the Democrats do in Springfield yesterday, and the Republicans were like, fine, we'll do it your way as much as we possibly can. And we had to get a Republican on the ballot in the 112th district. That's Katie Stewart's district. You've heard me talk about Katie Stewart and the ridiculous representation that she offers the people of Madison County and St. Clair County. I don't know why, but they drew me out of her district when they redistricted the 112th, and now I get to be represented by my friend Amy Ellick, which is an upgrade for me, but Katie Stewart is still there in the 112th. We didn't have a Republican candidate that was in the primary that was going to be on the ballot here in November. So the Republican Party did what the parties always do, which was say we're going to slate an individual, submitted the paperwork in order to start that process. And as my understanding goes, those signatures to get that candidate slated, based on the process has been in play for quite some time, is to get those signatures in by June 1st. Wednesday, however, Jay Hoffman, who is a Democrat here in Southern Illinois, decided to take matters into his own hands to commandeer a Senate bill and change the landscape. We have Senator Jason Plummer in studio with us, 55th District.
Yes.
And Erica Harris of the 56th District, which is my senator, to talk to us about the last 48 hours in Illinois. So both of you, thanks for taking your time to come downtown to St. Louis to talk about Illinois. We really appreciate it.
No, it's great to be here. Thanks, Andy.
Let me ask you, Erica, because you were the first person to message me on, I guess it was Wednesday, that there was a bill that had passed in the House. Tell me what kind of that message was on Wednesday.
Sure. So I think that this bill started as a DCFS bill, a bill that was supposed to help kids. And you and I have talked before about bills getting hijacked.
Yeah.
And just as a new senator, some of the things that you think this should never happen in the state legislature, but it does. And that happened. And so I wanted to bring it to your attention of a really good bill has just been basically hijacked, which they've gutted and replaced it in the House and are trying to shove it through. And it's an elections bill. So I sent you a message and said, hey, you might want to keep an eye on this one.
Yeah. Your message came in and then more messages came in. And I thought this seems to be a really big deal because I was getting peppered from about, I don't know, it passed at noon, right? Is that when the House bill passed, noon-ish or something like that on Wednesday? And then people started alerting like, this is going to be consequential for the Metro East. So Senator Plummer, you've been in the Senate a little bit longer than Senator Harris here has. Are you surprised by the hijacking of bills, or is this modus operandi for the Illinois Dems?
Well, I think it's a terrible practice, but it's something that you kind of become accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
And until the numbers change in Springfield, we're not going to be able to change that process. So it's unfortunate. And to Erica's point, a DCFS bill to help children pass through the Senate went over to the House. And then when it gets to the House, that's when they get rid of all the content related to helping kids. And they say, we're going to use this bill to advance a political agenda. And I just think that's really unfortunate. If this is something that you really care about, the issue that they're talking about now about backroom deals and all that, they would have had legislation to address that starting for the next election.
Mm-hmm.
The way that this happened mid-session, mid-election shows you what their true intent is.
So talk to me, Senator Plummer, about we know what was taken out of this DCFS Senate bill that Jay Hoffman, this is one of, I usually, I'll just talk about myself. think this is like the Chicago way. This is what the Chicago Democrats do. They control the whole state. But unfortunately, there's this. Is Hoffman your rep or are you Charlie Meyer? Do you know?
Oh, man, I don't know. I might be Chris Belt.
Okay. Well, that's Senate.
Oh, no.
I think
my rep is Kevin Schmidt.
Oh, King.
Okay. King Schmidt.
So we have Jay Hoffman down here who's flipping the bill to be something that is being called election interference. What did he put into this bill, and how did it affect specifically our listening area in the Metro East?
Well, just to show you how kind of disgusting Springfield can be, let's take a step back in history a little bit. So the district that Katie Stewart represents used to be represented by who? A Republican.
Oh, before her?
Yeah. And who represented it before that Republican? A guy named Jay Hoffman. Jay Hoffman got beat by a Republican, got tossed out by the voters. And so during a redistricting cycle in 2011, they drew a special district for Jay Hoffman down in St. Clair County because they needed his presence and his style, let's call it, in Springfield. And so now you fast forward to today, and you've got Jay Hoffman manipulating the electoral process, and it's unfortunate. I know Jay. I don't know why he does these things. You should have more confidence in the voters. And unfortunately, what they put into this bill, essentially, as Erica hinted at, it immediately cuts off the timeline in which candidates, which this has happened for years, can file to run for office. So if somebody's sitting at home and they say, I think one of the best things about democracy is competition, and oh my gosh, no one's running against my state senator, no one's running against my state rep, no one's running against whatever, I'm going to go put my name on the ballot because I think people should have a choice.
Right.
Well, Jay Hoffman and Katie Stewart decided the voters of her district shouldn't have a choice.
Do you think Katie Stewart had some say? Was she involved in the way Jay Hoffman did this?
100%.
You think that Katie Stewart, the representative for the 112th district, wanted the people in her district to not have a choice? I mean, because if the Republicans got their way, Katie Stewart can still win in November. She's not going to lose her seat. She just has to win an election.
Right.
She feels that she needs to not have an opponent in order to win the election?
Well, I think that a lot of things that Representative Stewart has done recently are things that her constituents object to. I think that what she does, if her average constituent saw what she did in Springfield, they throw her out in a heartbeat. And I think now that there's a spotlight on some of her actions, there's a spotlight on some of the initiatives that she has championed, and she obviously has always had problems with the law enforcement community, and was a champion of the Safety Act and so forth. And now I think she sees competition coming, and they don't like competition in Springfield. That's why they gerrymander the maps. And so they're trying to, mid-election cycle, change the rules of the game. And I think that's unfortunate. Really, though, this isn't about even what they did, it's how they did it.
Yeah.
When this session, we should track this. We will track this. But this session, how many times does a bill get gutted, replaced, passed in the House, sent back to the Senate, passed in the Senate, signed in law by the governor, all in less than a day and a half?
Yeah.
It never happens, which tells you what was the rush. Well, the rush was cutting off that filing deadline so that voters in Illinois wouldn't have a choice.
It's so frustrating, which is why my phone was blowing up on Wednesday. There's no time to let's catch a coffee and talk about this later. This is something that we either need to do something about this now, or we're going to run out of time. Senator Harris, you represent a lot of the same people that Katie Stewart represents. And, I literally live across from the district, across the street from the district where they drew the line. This is a pretty purple district. There are a lot of different people. This is not super rural southern Illinois. It's a complicated district, but I don't think that if you looked at Katie Stewart's record, you'd think it was central Chicago.
That's very fair. I think this transcends the bounds of politics, and you have people that are not even super plugged into politics who heard about this and said, this is absolutely wrong. We can't believe this is happening. We can't believe our choices are being taken away. I think it's interesting. I read something that the governor said, and he said that his comment on this was that this was an ethics bill. If this is an ethics bill, we really ought to be worried.
It's all relative, I suppose.
Well, I mean, when people show up to vote in November, do they want a choice on their ballot or not?
Yeah.
This is taking away that choice. They will have one person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, at the end of the day.
Yeah, the pro-choice party isn't so pro-choice when it comes to having opponents that they can just go beat and spend all of their Chicago blue dollars in Southern Illinois, which is what I think that this is a huge part about. Not having a candidate run against Katie Stewart in Little Southern Illinois means that they can take. We were talking a little bit about this. What kind of Democrat money gets funneled into Madison County, St. Clair County, right across the river here, the Metro East, in order to make sure that Katie Stewart's seat, the 112, stays blue?
Well, they spend millions of dollars.
Millions.
Over the course of the last few cycles, I couldn't tell you the exact number, but it's well into the millions of dollars. And, Erica, Annie, you hit on a great point. This is a purple district, right? And Erica represents a purple district. And I think that's something we need to highlight, because I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or independent. If you look at what Erica Harris does in Springfield, you're going to be like, you know what? She's working on behalf of the constituents.
Yeah.
Her votes, her values reflect the district pretty well. That's Katie Stewart's problem, is her values and her votes do not reflect the district. Thereby, they don't want competition. And, that's not how the democratic process is supposed to work. I mean, they've manipulated the district through gerrymandering. They've manipulated the district with campaign spending. And now they're like, well, that's not going to work, so let's just make sure there's not an election. I mean, that's truly what they're trying to do, is prevent an election.
It's unbelievable. It's disgusting, really. The ick level is off the charts. So that's kind of what happened Wednesday. This is what Jay Hoffman specifically did for his buddy Katie Stewart to make sure she didn't have an opponent in the November election. You guys both know Jay Keevan, and I went on the air yesterday morning with the Mark Cox Morning Show, Rand Recker filling in, and said, listen, this is like an all-hands-on-deck situation. If you live in the 112th district, if Katie Stewart is your representative, we need your signature, because we have to get these signatures turned in before the Illinois Democrats successfully change the law. So I'll let you guys take it from here, whichever you would like to kind of talk about the events of yesterday and how the Republicans kind of had to do a grassroots fight in order to beat the supermajority of Democrats in Springfield.
Well, I mean, I think there's like two different dynamics going on here. Everything you described about, I think, local grassroots people working and trying to get signatures and stuff. And I don't really know what was going on, because, frankly, we've been in Springfield in session.
Yep.
We've been in session all week. I can tell you I spent 2 or 2.5 hours yesterday morning in executive appointments, because we're dealing with some real issues with the Department of Corrections. And this thing moves so fast. I don't think the Senate really knew what was happening. This was kind of, the stew coming from the House. And, the Senate, there's a pretty good working relationship between Republicans and Democrats in the Senate.
Yeah.
The discourse tends to be pretty civil. We obviously strongly disagree on certain things, but the process is respected and the institution is respected. The House is a mess. I mean, it's just a mess. And so, I think we probably heard rumblings of something in the House, but to be really honest, I think the vast majority of senators had no idea what was going on until at some point yesterday morning, when we got the list of bills we were likely to be voting on. Because we've been reviewing, we have caucus all the time, and we review bills, and the stack starts off like this, and then as we vote on stuff, it goes like this.
Yeah.
Rarely does new stuff get added to it. And then all of a sudden you
here's this one.
All of a sudden you get this new bill. So I think most senators didn't really learn about it until, mid-morning yesterday. I didn't get out of executive appointments till probably well after noon. And this thing just moved really fast.
Yeah. And remember, when a bill has an amendment, the title stays the same. So the title of this bill continues to be about DCFS and children. I don't have the actual official title, but the title does not change. So as a legislator, when you're looking at these are things coming before us today, you are usually running on the assumption that the title is going to have something to do with what the bill is. So
is that used against you in political campaigns? You vote against the DCFS bill. If you're voting against the protection of children and families in the state of Illinois because the bill was actually about allowing a Republican on the ballot in November, am I going to get a flyer in my mail for my state senator Erica Harris that says she hates kids, and your picture's going to be in black and white? Yeah. It's going to be like the most unfortunate frame of your face. And then I'm supposed to think you hate kids.
I guess we'll find out, won't we?
You didn't vote no. You voted present, I noticed. Yeah,
we did vote present. Yeah. The House had done the same thing the day before, and we were standing, I believe, in some good solidarity with them. I think, again, we've been sent to Springfield to deliberate. These are laws that we are putting in place. These
affect people's lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as a voter, I would want that to be a good deliberative process. And there was, I'd say, very little to no deliberation that really took place on this. If you watch the debate on the floor, there were many of us Senate Republicans who stood up and talked about how wrong that this was.
Yes.
And there was really no back and forth on that, Val. So really, really disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, the governor talks about backroom deals. And if you think about how legislation usually happens, right? So it comes out of the House or the Senate. It goes through committees. It gets amended. People debate it. People talk about it. Eventually, it comes out of the committee, goes to the floor, gets voted on. Then if it passes, it goes to the other chamber, and it goes through the same exact process. And then if it passes that chamber and the language isn't amended or changed, right, then it goes to the governor. And we're talking months-long processes. I mean, I've worked on bills that took years, right? And then this thing happens in 36 hours from, first introduction to governor's signature. That's a backroom deal. There's absolutely no conversation. And as far as the present vote, just to show you how outrageous this is, I've been in Springfield for 6, 7 years, whatever now. I've never voted president before.
Really?
I've never voted president before. I voted president on this one because I wanted my constituents to know I was there, right? But it wasn't even. It was so offensive, it didn't deserve a vote. I mean, we had to stand united with our House colleagues. What I want to highlight is even some Democrats voted against it.
Really?
And some Democrats didn't even vote because they saw how offensive it was.
Did they say why?
No, they sat there. But I give them total credit.
Take it. Yeah, we'll take
I give them total credit.
Take the no.
But I mean, I just want to highlight the opposition to this was bipartisan. The support for this was strictly partisan.
That is an important note. So I can tell you that yesterday, well, let's see, when the bill passed, Jay Keevan had 270 signatures in hand. Now, there are people who, like you, both of you have people who go get signatures for you to get on the ballot
Sure.
or over the course of your career. You've got your people who you trust to go out and help you. You need help. And
Sure.
if you're going to be representing people, you should have people who want to represent you to say, this is the guy, this is the woman. So there was a collection of all those papers. Like if you had a stack of petitions at home, those all had to come together in the last 36 hours. I went on the air with Mark Cox. We had a steady stream of cars coming in, and the repeated disgust for Katie Stewart, every car, sick and tired of what she's doing in this community, sick and tired of the things we're seeing locally in our schools, just very, very frustrated with Katie Stewart. Car after car after car. I'm handing them the petition. Do you live in Katie Stewart's district? Yes, I do. Here, sign, name, address, town, county, whatever. One after the other after the other. They get these signatures after they were done. I think they quit at the airplane park around 12:30 or 12:45 and got on 55 and just hightailed it up to Springfield to get these filed. And my understanding is they got them filed before the Senate passed the bill and the governor signed it this morning. Correct?
Yeah, so I don't know the logistics or how many signatures Jay had and all that kind of stuff. I mean, everything moves so fast, and there's a lot of other bills we're working on. Some are almost as egregious as this one. So we're looking at a lot of stuff. So I don't know the details of all of that, but it passed the House Wednesday, came over to the Senate yesterday, passed the Senate mid-afternoon yesterday. Governor signed it today. My understanding is Jay Keevan filed sometime yesterday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the time or whatever. So, he definitely was filed before the governor signed it. And so now the ball's back in Katie Stewart's hands as far as, what they're going to do as far as challenging or whatever. I'm sure they're going to do something because this rush job happened because they don't want competition.
So the possibility does exist that the Democrats could take this a step further.
Absolutely.
And push back against Jay Keevan, who is a Republican. It was funny listening to him yesterday. I'm just going to this is a positive thing I'm saying about him, so don't hear what I'm not saying here, but he is not a politician. He is a police officer. He's a servant. He was a nice man. He was very polite to everybody. It was great to get to know him more yesterday. I think he's absolutely up to the task, but watching the community come together yesterday and just be sick of the word I kept hearing was crooked. the way Illinois works is being so crooked. People are very upset by it. And if the Democrats want to push this issue, I think that they don't know what they're about to get themselves into, larger than maybe just Katie Stewart and the 112.
Well, I mean, I think just from a broader perspective, forget the situation, right? Like things, when you're running a campaign, things get political. Once you're elected, right? Yeah, it's kind of a political business.
You got to do the job.
You got to do the job, and
Yeah.
the politics shouldn't be there. I even said on the Senate floor yesterday, take the R, off your name, take the D off your name, and do the right thing. And we all know what the right thing is in this instance. And so, I think, frankly, my advice to Katie Stewart is embrace competition because that's healthy for everybody. But if you're worried about competition, it's probably because the things you're doing in Springfield are so extreme that the local constituents find it offensive. Let's focus on property taxes. Let's focus on crime. Let's focus on the budget that they're trying to push through Springfield. Let's focus on the unemployment rate in Illinois. That's probably I think fourth highest in the country, much higher than any of our neighbors. Let's focus on the things that impact the families that live in our districts, and let's put the politics off to the side. But unfortunately, the majority party's got a little drunk on power, and everything is political.
Yeah, it's very frustrating to watch. But I actually was very heartened by you both probably cover a little bit of Stewart's district. And do you guys?
No.
Is your son?
No, it's
just you.
It's Erica's district.
you're-
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
I border it.
You're right up next to
Yeah.
it, and I know you know a lot of the people in that district as well. But
So I will say we spent the one day that it was filed on May 1st, and I started getting messages about it. And our days in Springfield, as you know, are super long. Got back to my hotel that night, hopped on social media, and was shocked to see all the local messages of people back home who had heard this was happening and who were propelled to do something
Mhm.
about it. And I think that's, wow, what a testament to, people and voters coming together and getting
Yeah.
a message out and also saying we're not okay with this.
Yeah.
So was very, heartened to see that this matters to people. They care. They understand that this is not right, what's happening, and they're not going to sit around and just let it happen. They're going to do something about it. So,
well, my message to anybody listening right now, if you're in the state of Illinois, is that it is imperative that we get the Democrats out of a supermajority in November. And if you are in the 112th district, you need to get to know Jay Keevan. We're going to make sure, come hell or high water, that his name is on the ballot on the November ballot. And we have to show up. I say this every election cycle, like, you have to show up. It's not going to happen with just status quo in the state of Illinois. That is not status quo, but we're in deep trouble in the state of Illinois. It's headed in the wrong direction the last election, but I think people are, like I said earlier in the show, I don't think Republicans are going to convince Democrats to vote Republican, but I do think that the Democrats are convincing Democrats to consider Republicans. So let's show up and support them this election cycle. I appreciate you guys coming in today.
Yeah, I mean, can I add one more thing to this whole story?
Yeah, you can. We have till 3.
Okay, well, I mean, this is. I mean,
don't tell Ryan Wiggins he planned the whole thing for the 2 o'clock hour.
No, I want to turn it over to Erica, right? Because I mean, she's been working so hard in this district, and she is clearly a breath of fresh air.
Amen.
You talk to the constituents, you talk to people in Madison County and St. Clair County. They actually have a state senator who picks up their phone, who responds to their messages. They actually get constituent services. They actually do the job of a legislator. Not everything is politics, right? And you made the comment about maybe Republicans can't convince Democrats, but Democrats can convince Democrats to vote Republican. Madison County has changed, right? It used to be a crooked, budget busting, high tax, troubling place when you looked at government. Republicans have been elected. I think they're common sense conservatives. I don't think they're, radicals. They keep the tax levies flat. They cut taxes. They keep the budgets responsible. There's not these ethical problems, and people have responded favorably to that because I think your average person's like, yeah, I tend to be Republican. I tend to be Democrat. They just really want good government.
Yeah.
Well,
Fair.
what they've done here with this district, right? They did it with our judicial subcircuit maps. In the middle of the election cycle, they tried to redraw the judicial subcircuits in Madison County. What happened? 3 Republican judges got elected in an overwhelmingly Democrat district because even the local Democrats said this isn't right. They tried to redo the Metro East Sanitation District because Republicans gained seats on that, and they wanted to take seats away. What's the Metro East Sanitation District do? It's supposed to protect people, their houses and their homes and their businesses from flooding. But that was a place where they could put a lot of patronage jobs. And so they tried to change that. Now they're trying to change the state representative district. If the Democrats just focused on policies that people cared about and they felt like a steady hand was driving the ship, they wouldn't have to try to game the elections.
Yeah.
And that's what's offensive to people.
So maybe it's a good sign that they're going to these drastic measures.
They draw the maps. They usually outspend us. And now they're going to this. And I think people are waking up saying, this is wrong.
Yeah.
This is not okay. People of both parties, I think, are recognizing this is not okay. And we're going to do something about it.
Yeah.
So.
Identify the desperation of the moment and let's just win in November. And it's got to start with being able to get Republicans on the ballot. Like, that's the conversation we're having in Illinois right now. We shouldn't be surprised. That's even frustrating in and of itself. Senator Harris and Senator Plummer, such a pleasure to have you in here. Thank you for making the trek across the Mississippi.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to. Thank you.
We'll have you back again to discuss the developments of this as it continues to happen. And like you said, the other crazy things that are happening in the Senate and the General Assembly. Let's take a quick break. Morning Fry Show around the corner. Little Ask Us Anything. And then we've got the bosses in for X's and O's in the 2 o'clock hour. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Think I need a devil to help me get things right.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Attention Patriots, this is Jason Hansen, former CIA officer, with an urgent message for anyone concerned about their financial future. In a world filled with economic uncertainty, it's crucial to have a rock-solid plan for protecting your wealth. That's why I'm inviting you to a special financial briefing this Thursday. You'll get proven strategies for safeguarding your assets and securing your money. Call my friends at Advantage Gold at 800-741-GOLD to register for free right now. Again, call 800-741-GOLD.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
What's that I smell? Can I search your card? You know where this is going. What's in that cigar? I know my rights and you do too. I want to talk to my lawyer, not you.
This is Mike Carter, founder of DidYouBlow.com and DWISTL.com. DWIs are complicated matters, and at DWISTL.com, we have 10 attorneys and paralegals working on every DWI matter.
I want my phone call.com.
So put DWISTL.com or DidYouBlow.com in your phone's contacts right now at 314-895-4040.
I just text 895-4040.
Again, go to DWISTL.com or DidYouBlow.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-296-8708. 800-296-8708. Again, that's 800-296-8708. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
County Executive from St. Charles, Missouri, Mr. Steve Ellman.
Judge Brian May, circuit judge in St. Louis County, came down with an opinion. What he said was that the marijuana merchants are one toke over the line.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show.
You have to ask me nicely.
Don't make me beg here. Ask me anything.
Tell me the truth!
Well, we just got done speaking with Senators Plummer and Harris, and what a day, what a couple days it's been in the state of Illinois. If you missed it, go back and listen to the beginning of the 1 o'clock hour because that was really informative, really helpful to have them in there. We're going to do a little Ask Us Anything right now, and I'm going to start with the YouTube live chat poll question is, do you karaoke? The answers are yes, with singing, yes, but not singing or no way, and then followed up by, if you're going to karaoke a song, what are you going to sing? Ryan?
Well, I've said before, and I'll stick with it, that if I karaoke, I want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner.
Can you sing it?
I think I probably can. I've never really tested the old vocal cords on it, but I'm imagining I would do it in falsetto, and I hope that's okay. But I think when it comes to karaoke,
you just bring it down a couple octaves.
Yeah, I could try to do that.
I want to know what love
I want to know what love is. Just change the melody as well.
I was just going to say, that's not even... You're just going to read lyrics to your own melody.
I want to read it like it's beatnik poetry.
And have you ever been to karaoke?
No, I've never done any of it.
Brad?
Oh, man. I would do it. I can't see myself actively seeking it out, but if friends asked me to go do karaoke, then I would go with them. And you could probably talk me into singing.
What?
Oh, man. I don't know.
What would you feel the most comfortable singing?
Oh, none of it. I'd feel incredibly uncomfortable singing whatever it was. Yes,
so
but I would sing.
So if someone says, you need to go to karaoke, you're going to be like, no, I don't want to, but okay.
I'd probably pick something really difficult. Maybe like CeeLo Green or something like that and just butcher it.
I like how difficult the first thing you think of is CeeLo Green. We played it already today. So.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just really like CeeLo.
I do really like his voice. I think I really like all that. Gnarls Barkley, and I just like his style and stuff. But
I do like going to karaoke events. I will potentially, I have sung at karaoke nights, but I'm not the first one to go sing, and I'm not like, okay, I just sang, when can I sing the next song? So I will sing songs by Pistol Annies. Or maybe Moulin Rouge. I can sing all of those songs forwards and backwards, so that's probably what I would do. But we need you to go vote. I asked a secondary question in the YouTube description when we put it up there is, I need comments from this, but would you attend an Annie Fry Show karaoke charity event? I would like to know. Question?
Would you rather sit through a Star Wars marathon or a Lord of the Rings marathon?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Now, keep in mind, Star Wars has a lot
do
more
I
to
have
get
to watch
through.
The last
you got to
three?
watch the whole
No.
thing.
Lord of the Rings.
Star Wars.
Okay. I'm Lord of the Rings. Just for time. Here's another one. We talked about this yesterday, your ideal indoor temperature. It's been great outside. What is your
86.
ideal outdoor temperature?
86.
86 is very warm.
We talk about this multiple times a year.
Pretty much, yeah, okay, every time we're going into summer.
86
I think I remember
is
that
the
now.
perfect temperature.
Brad, what is your ideal outdoor temperature?
So much so that I think the last time we talked about this, we all gave our ideal temperatures, and then we did that was our Friday poll. What's the
I
perfect
think
temperature?
you're right. Now that I say it, I'm like,
what's the perfect temperature?
oh, yeah.
And we only had 4 possible options, but
That's
it was
right.
each one of ours.
That's
so,
right.
Brad, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm more in the 70s, maybe a 73, 74, something like that.
I think I'm upper 60s. I'm
It's too cool. I want to be able to wear shorts, but I also don't want to be like sweating, and I start sweating at probably 78.
Okay.
It's very specific.
Yeah, it is. Oh, must hit 78. There it goes.
Uh-oh. My back's sweating.
Do you have a question?
Yeah. So I really wanted to know, have you guys ever suffered a really major injury? And if so, how did you do it?
Did you?
I've torn both of my ACLs.
Nice.
And I've also torn both of my meniscus, and one of them twice. And I did that playing sports. One was playing soccer, one was playing basketball, and the other one was playing floor hockey.
I busted my left ankle playing volleyball my senior year. I was blocking, and the girl went to hit the ball and went under the net, which is a huge no-no. And then I blocked when I was coming down from the block, because the block is just a little bit after the hit if you time it right. And I came down on her ankle, and it popped out, and it blew up. It was a sprain, and so I still kind of deal with that. I'll take recommendations right now in the Annie Fry YouTube chat or to the Facebook page. But I think I did something really bad to my shoulder, and I did it last summer, probably early July, I think. And I have restrained myself from using it, thinking that it would get better. And then I've tried chiropractic care. I've tried massage therapy. I've tried weight training after a while to see, like, oh, maybe I just need to build it back up. And I still cannot, like, throw a baseball or throw a volleyball, I did it throwing volleyballs at volleyball summer camp last year. I think I might have torn something, and I need a good orthopedist maybe to go see. I told myself that if by summer I still can't, I'm still in pain when I do that particular movement, I need to go get it checked. So that would be my other real injury that has affected me almost for a year now.
Here's the fun thing about cystic fibrosis. When I was in my late 20s, I don't think I did anything, and I thought my lung had collapsed. And it was so painful, and I had never experienced before. I had to call my friend to come pick me up because I couldn't move. I was just frozen.
You said you thought it had collapsed.
I thought it had. I was frozen in a position. When I got to the emergency room, they did an MRI, and by then something had shifted, and it was back to normal. What I found out later is that it's not your lung collapsing. What it feels like is that your lung is just sort of like sticking to itself.
Ew.
And it was super, super painful.
Never happen again?
Only a little bit. Like every now and then it'll just be like, ooh, that hurt, and then it'll kind of go away. But it's never happened that bad again.
Was your question injuring yourself?
Well,
Brad?
and so mine was from coughing. I thought maybe I had done that. But it wasn't like
but
a
the
sports
question
injury.
was injuring himself, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't include kidney stones.
That's correct. That's why I didn't go there. Although,
which was worse?
Maybe it was the ride. I don't know. It was close. I would say a bigger kidney stone would have been worse. Because
Obviously.
if it was like...
Oh, you mean worse than the lung?
Worse than the lung.
I thought
Worse
you
than
were-
itself, yeah.
A bigger kidney stone would be worse than a littler kidney stone.
No, that would be obvious. No, if I had a bigger kidney stone, I think it would have been worse than the lung thing, but I actually still think the lung thing was more painful.
I'm getting orthopedic recommendations, and I'm writing them
Oh,
down.
good. Good for you.
I'm not going to make an appointment right now, but I am going to write it down. Another question?
I've got one here from Lori Feltz. She wants to know, what is it that you all like to do most when you have time off?
Sleep.
Yeah, I used to love doing things like writing and hobbies, and I still try to do those things, but what I really love is nothing. I really love doing nothing.
Isn't it weird, like when you get older, the things that were used against you as punishment sound like blessings?
Yes.
It's like, oh, you go to your room and you stay there all night, and you're like, okay.
Promise?
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do to unwind is either play video games or I like to mow grass. And don't ask me why, but I just like
My grass
that
needs
process.
to be cut, Brad.
Give me a call. I'll come up sometime.
Oh.
That is great. You going to drive there on your mower?
No. I will use my
What
trailer
do you think
and I'll
this
tow it
is,
up there.
Hamel?
Yeah.
Love it.
Hey, if you know, you know.
I don't have the sign for the back of it.
When we lived in Hamel, people would do that.
Yeah.
They would just drive down on their John Deeres from one lawn to the couple blocks down. Like, what are you going to do? Load it on? You spend more time loading it on and off your trailer. Just drive that sucker down there with that koozie.
Yep. And I tell you what, you want to be a hero to a 5 or 6 year old? Drive a lawnmower down the road. They think it's the coolest thing they've ever seen.
Sleep is my first question. It depends on how much time I have to myself, because I will use the first amount. Like, okay, let's say I have a week off of work. I am going to spend about 48 hours doing nothing. Like, just doing nothing. Sitting with my kids, watching movies, sleeping in, staying up late if I want to, going to bed early if I want to. 48 hours of that, and then all of a sudden I become, I don't want to say I'm a tyrant, because my attitude's not bad, but we are getting stuff done. And I am a hyper-focus queen when it comes to, oh, you need help picking up your room? All right, let's spot clean the entire upstairs. And I do. And then I can't stop. Like, my husband is a morning person. I'm a night person. He will be all about helping, doing all the little tasks that are around the house, like fixing the closet door or replacing the light bulb that's been burnt out for 6 months, but you got to get up there and take the dome down and do all the things for it. It's like, I can see enough. I don't need the light on there. He starts going ham on those things. But like a normal human being around 9:30 or 10, he's like, I need to stop. And I'm like, you can stop. That's fine. But I'm not going to. And I don't want, I'm not going to guilt you for quitting. But don't guilt me for continuing. And we're like, high five, good night.
Wow.
See you in the morning.
That's
And,
great.
Yeah.
You guys got a system, because my wife does the exact same thing.
She's
Katie,
the hyper-focus?
What she does, and I call it tornado mode.
Yeah.
She gets into this thing, and I'm like, kids, mom's in tornado mode. You need to just do it.
Hunker down!
Yeah. And she like, we got to do everything, and it's got to be completely perfect starting now.
Because as a mother, she understands that you don't clean very much, like not nearly as much as you should, because you don't have time, and you've made these little children that are messy, and they wear clothes, and they get dirty, and then they wear more clothes, when you decide it's time to clean, and when I say clean, I mean clean, you have to do the whole thing so that you can know for the next 24 times that you can't get down there, you like have a new spot where you're like, it was clean on this day.
It's true.
You got to go.
It's very true. Yeah.
Every once in a while.
And it's like certain rooms. If I can get this spot clean, I'm going to feel okay. If the rest of it gets done, great. But this spot has to be clean.
Info Dude says Ryan's man cave is called the Storm Shelter.
Yeah, I'm going to open the storm shelter doors. I'm going to go hide until tornado's done. Can I ask this one from Chris F. here? I like this question. We've talked about it a little bit before, but nuts or no nuts in your candy/dessert, like brownies?
I like nuts, but not in my desserts.
I
Phrase yours as particular
yeah,
as she just did.
Yeah, I will.
It's true. I eat pistachios for lunch.
I was gonna say
clearly
candy
multiple
for sure.
times a day.
My favorite candy is peanut M&Ms. So that's
Blech.
but
The worst M&M.
like dessert. No, the best.
the
Stop
worst.
it.
Peanut butter.
No, that's no.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yum.
Ick.
Yum.
Anyway,
Delicious.
brownies. No, I don't want it in cake, brownies, anything like that. No nuts.
If it were up to me, I would never have any nuts in my brownie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind it if they're good. I don't like, they need to be like, it needs to be the full nut. It can't be like just itty bitty pieces or whatever if it's sprinkled on top of a brownie. You need to have like a big walnut in there so that you get the idea that you're actually eating a nut and not just like the idea of something crunchy that snuck its way into your brownie.
What about corn and cornbread?
Yes, of course.
Ooh, I'm a big no on that too.
Yeah, I bet. That's just called cake.
Yeah, I just want the bread. I'm sorry. Hang on.
I've got one here. I want to
Okay.
get conspiratorial. Bobo Farms. I'm trying to pull it up so I can put it up here for you guys. But Bobo Farms.
Chris F says peanut butter is the best M&M.
Chris
Anyway.
F is wrong.
No, he's not.
But Bobo Farms wants to know if you believe the moon landing was real or fake.
I totally believe it's real, but it could have been faked.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same boat. Crazier things have happened, but I do believe it's real.
There's no way the government would lie.
I can't understand anything NASA because I'm not smart enough. But I am smart enough to know that I'm not smart enough and to know my place. So the idea that you could launch people into space and just casually frolic on the moon and plant the flag there and everything is not something that my little brain can comprehend. So it's unbelievable to me. But sure.
A ringing endorsement for the moon landing.
To me, it's
Probably.
not the conspiracy theory that the end results matter.
Yes.
It's like I don't need the moon landing to be real. I don't need it to be fake. So why not land on the moon?
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. You know what convinced me that the moon landing was real? That I read that one time somebody walked up to Buzz Aldrin and said that it was fake, and he just punched him in the face.
So you think it's real?
And I'm like, well, it must be real then.
He's pretty passionate about that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I put my life on the line, and this is boom.
What if it was fake though, and like in 20 years they're like, obviously it was fake. Why did you think that we landed on the moon?
I would agree. I'd go, of course.
Come on, guys.
Of
We
course
didn't have
you
the
did.
computing power of a pocket calculator at that point. And you think we landed on the moon?
I know. I mean, these are things that people say that I'm like, yeah, but Neil Armstrong punched that guy in the face.
Buzz.
We're sorry, Neil Armstrong. Yeah.
You have another one?
Yeah. Have you guys heard about St. George, Louisiana? And that's a city in Baton Rouge. Ender had asked me if we'd heard about it, and I said I had. What do you think about St. George splitting from Baton Rouge? And the Louisiana Supreme Court just approved this city's right to secede. It was about 100,000 residents to secede from the city of Baton Rouge because they didn't like the way Baton Rouge was being run.
Huh.
So this is a group of, I guess you would call them conservatives, seceding from a Democrat stronghold. And the judge in the Supreme Court in Louisiana said, yep, you're ready to go.
Aren't they trying to do something like that around Atlanta? Isn't there something happening
That
like
sounds
that in
vaguely
Georgia?
familiar.
They're trying to make a new place. Like, you see this type of stuff happening. You know, the conversations about, was it Idaho and Eastern Oregon or something like that? What a perfect opportunity to compare the red way of doing things and the blue way of doing things. Because I would assume that they would be pretty starkly different, and that one would thrive and one wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not like we can't do that around here, but I'm interested in finding out more, or like kind of seeing how it shapes up over the course of time. And also, how did you do it? And also, can we do it from Chicago?
Yeah, I think you need the Supreme Court to approve it, which...
That's maybe rough in Illinois.
If we were going to secede from Illinois, you don't have to, well, I don't know how it works for creating a new state versus absorbing by another state. If you were going to be a part of a different state, over there where we live in Madison County, St. Clair County, if we were going to become part of a different state, not a new state, where do you want to go?
Missouri would be fine, but I would take Kentucky. I think it'd be fun to be a Kentuckian.
I would love to be able to vote for Rand Paul. And so I think
So
Kentucky,
you too.
I think like initially I heard that I was like, ew, Kentucky, but then I was like, oh, wait, Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, I kind of like those guys. I'd like to be able to vote for Rand Paul. I don't think our Massey's district would come into our area, but I think it would be awesome.
Massey's in the House. That district would be small.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd still be represented from our own
Yeah.
people.
But to be able to vote
It would be fun, though, to be like, hey, I live over in the Metro East in the Bluegrass State.
Your options are really, in a weird way, I mean, obviously Missouri. In a weird way, Iowa. That's not happening. Kentucky. If you go to the tippy tip of Illinois, you don't get to Tennessee. Do you? No. That's Missouri and Kentucky. And then Indiana and Wisconsin are all the bordering states. Kentucky is the only right answer.
I think, yeah, thank you.
The more south, I'm going to turn into a southern
Yeah.
belle. Just like that. Yeah, I'm from the south.
Yeah, right. Let's just do the whole thing.
So we can wear the hats for the Kentucky Derby.
Shoot our guns freely. Yeah.
We've always been a part of this culture.
Like, if you didn't. Nothing wrong with Indiana. No problems there.
Yeah.
Because Indiana is as exciting as Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
It's probably the closest to the same understanding of what we are. Because I
That's
even
true.
feel like Missouri, your land moves in weird ways. There are bluffs.
Mm-hmm.
In Illinois, there's just very flat. Indiana, right there with you. Maybe a little Iowa, but you're kind of getting a little too far north
Too far
for my
north,
favorite.
yeah.
If I can go further south just by virtue of being annexed into Kentucky, yes.
Let's start that now.
Be a bluegrass.
Yeah, let's do it.
Kentucky.
Go UK.
Kentucky it is. The worst.
Go Wildcats.
Is that the right one?
I don't think he's there
not
anymore.
anymore.
No, he just got bounced.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. X's and O's with the bosses. We can come back.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
JenTeskeyHomes.com, T-E-S-K-E, JenTeskeyHomes.com. Working with Jen is the relief that you need when you're going to list your home to sell. And it is a competitive market right now. So if you are thinking about selling, make sure you contact her at 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010. Start the process here because you want to get in the game when it's going to benefit you the most. Maybe you're not immediately ready to sell, but you are trying to wonder, like, what kind of timeline do we have here in order to get our house on the market, to be able to sell in the timeline that we need to? What do we need to do? You've got a million questions. She's got a million answers for you. She knows what she's doing. She is an expert at the Illinois market, specializing in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Troy, and Collinsville, and she's got the best staff and team around. 618-541-1010. Reach out to Jen Teskey at 618-541-1010 for your real estate needs in Illinois. You can find her online right now at jenteskeyhomes.com.
Wait a second. Think twice before signing that petition. That innocent petition is not a replacement for Roe versus Wade. We're talking late term and partial birth, long after the baby can feel pain. But that's not all. Signing that petition obliterates parental rights. Worse, it strips away malpractice protections for prenatal care, childbirth, miscarriage care, and all other reproductive health care. So if you or your loved one is hurt while accessing reproductive care, you forfeit your rights to sue. So think twice before signing that petition and support our work at Coalition Life. Coalition Life is on a mission. We're dedicated to helping women faced with untimely pregnancies, providing them with compassionate alternatives that empower them with choices that protect and uphold their rights. Visit coalitionlife.com to learn more, because every life deserves a chance. Paid for by Coalition Life.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. A U.S. lawmaker in federal custody, Lisa Brady. An indictment just unsealed accuses Congressman Henry Cuellar of taking $600,000 in bribes from two foreign entities in exchange for official acts as a member of Congress. The Texas Democrat and his wife face multiple charges, including bribery, money laundering, and conspiracy counts. They could face decades in prison if convicted. Federal prosecutors say Cuellar agreed to influence U.S. policy in favor of Azerbaijan. His home and a campaign office in Laredo had been raided more than 2 years ago.
Henry Cuellar maintained his innocence after the raid. He's the former chair
of the House Azerbaijan caucus. And just last month, Cuellar's attorney said he was not the target of an investigation.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. In a statement released today, Cuellar again says he and his wife are innocent and that actions taken in Congress were consistent with the actions of many colleagues. A spokesperson for House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Cuellar is entitled to his day in court and that the congressman will take leave as ranking member of a House committee for now. Former aide Hope Hicks takes the stand at the former president's criminal trial in New York.
Days ago, David Pecker, who was once the publisher of the National Enquirer, had said that she was part of a 2015 meeting at Trump Tower that involved a number of people strategizing how to protect then candidate Donald Trump in his efforts to become President Donald Trump. Today, she testified she couldn't remember a specific meeting with President Trump and David Pecker that she was a part of, but she says, it's possible.
Fox's Shannon Bream. Prosecutors say the former president falsified business records to hide hush money payments. A jury in New Hampshire awards $38 million in a landmark case over abuse at New Hampshire's youth detention center. The jury finding the state's negligence allowed David Meehan to be beaten, raped, and held in solitary confinement as a teen. The state blamed rogue employees. America's listening to Fox News.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's a pretty nice Friday afternoon. 75 for the high, so we're a good 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. Call it partly sunny. Tonight, partly cloudy. Evening temperatures drop into the upper 60s. 58 for the low. Saturday, partly sunny. Couple of thunderstorms could be popping up. Saturday afternoon, 82. Sunday, partly sunny with scattered thunderstorms, 79. Expect a lot of dry time, though, this weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Get ready, folks! Lakeside Renovation and Design is thrilled to invite you to our showroom open house event on Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's the remodeling event of the year. Unlock massive savings in our event thanks to exclusive partnerships with top vendors and suppliers, delicious catering from Sugar Fire, and fantastic giveaways throughout the day. Turn your remodeling dreams into reality. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Lakeside Renovation and Design, where your dream home becomes reality.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Are you a business owner? Do you want your voice and the voices of your clients represented? Let us do the talking. Join our community of free thinkers on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Learn more at 971talk.com/partner.
If you have rental properties, you know that when they go vacant, you got to do a lot of stuff. And sometimes it's just little piddly stuff, but you got to get it done. and you might be doing something else at the time. You might be out of town. Save their number for Murphy Cleanout Services. They are rapid rental renovations. So not only do they do the clean out part, but they do all the little stuff for you if you have a tenant move out. That's blinds, that's changing locks, really anything you can think of, they will get it done for you. And if you don't need it at this moment, that's okay. Go to murphycleanoutservices.com and save their number and put it in your phone for when you do, because you know you will. The other situation is if you're doing a rehab. I'm doing one of those right now, and big stuff. They do all that too. We needed a new roof. We need carpet. We need the whole thing painted, basically. So they're doing, they gave me great bids, and we're doing stuff right now at that house. It's going to get done quick. That's the other great thing about them. So if you have rentals, you need them. Murphy Cleanout Services, murphycleanoutservices.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Like, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back. Happy Friday, 2:08 here in St. Louis. And it is almost X's and O's time, but we are going to go around the room one more time with the YouTube live chat poll question, which today is, do you karaoke? Because we had Trisha, who is in here to play X's and O's the other day, and we were kind of like thinking about maybe a charity angle on a karaoke event, right?
Yeah.
And you were going to sing, Trisha. You were going to open the show.
Right now?
I just thought maybe if I pressured you on air, you'd commit.
Let's do it. It'll
Okay.
be the last time anybody tunes in.
No.
if you care about this show, you won't have me do this. But.
Steve, are you a karaokeer? Yes, he is.
Oh my gosh, he's so
nice.
Yeah, he is.
Look
This
at
is
him.
huge.
No, the only times I've ever done that, I had been partaking in alcoholic beverages beforehand and had a little bit of courage.
What's the song?
Friends in Low Places.
I love it.
Man, that is so
Sounds about
cliche,
right.
but
It is totally
acceptable.
cliche.
That's okay. You do need one. You don't need two friends in low places a night at the karaoke bar, but you do need one. Ryan, do you think, I don't know if you were listening. Steve, you think Ryan, how many times do you think he's karaokeed in his life?
I mean, he's kind of out there. I think he would do it. I think I could see Ryan being a karaoke
Put a number
guy.
on it. Put a number on it. If you had to, which you do.
I'm going to go
Hold
high.
the applause.
15.
He's never done it.
Never done it. I've never done it.
Isn't
You'll
that
do
shocking?
almost anything.
I know, but I've never been invited, which tells me a lot
never
about
been
my friends.
invited.
You
Yeah.
don't get
Never
invited.
How many things do you do on this show that you're not invited to?
Well, it's a pattern. So I've had to start doing that because my friends never invite me to anything.
Oh.
So I have to just take the initiative, which I do on the show very frequently.
That's true. That is true.
I don't think you get, like, I've never had somebody go, hey, we're going to karaoke tonight. I think you walk into a place and there's karaoke.
There's karaoke.
And you're like,
Or you're.
I feel strong today.
I've been karaokeing with Trisha before.
It's true.
On purpose? Like you guys made a date to go?
We were somewhere before, and then we went somewhere
We
after.
stumbled on the karaoke.
Kind of.
To Steve's
Yeah.
point. But we
Yeah.
were excited there was karaoke there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to try to find a worthy cause.
Steve, do you think it's weird that the song that I would like to do, though, is I Want to Know What Love Is, and I want to stare at just some stranger in the audience the whole time doing it?
As a bass.
No, I actually believe that.
Yeah, that's on
Yeah.
brand.
That's legit.
All right. Are you ready with X's and O's?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, let's get Todd in here.
All right, here we go.
Take
The
it
drums
away.
are here. The intensity is rising. This is X's and O's. Do you remember who won last time? Because you guys have played before, of
I'm
course.
sure I did.
I did.
Okay.
Oh. Well, you better set it up for the people who aren't the veterans like Steve and Trisha are.
I will. But I need to know
But
who
first-
actually won, because whoever lost gets to go first.
I lost bad the last time I played, so Steve can go first.
No, that would
Okay.
be-
Okay. So this is
Oh, is
X-
that not how that works?
No.
I thought the winner got to
Is
go
this my
first.
water or is this just left over from a
That's my
guest?
water.
punishment for
Uh,
losing
that.
last time.
Yeah, that person might have had a virus. That's the roulette you're playing. Okay, this is X's and O's. And there is a tic-tac-toe board in the studio with 9 squares. They're not numbered, but you can kind of figure out where they go.
They will be.
And each square has a corresponding question with it. Some of those questions have sound, some do not. But all you have to do is pick the square for your X or your O, and then pick an expert between Brad and Annie to answer the question for you. You will agree or disagree with their answer for the square. If you don't get it, the other person gets it. And if you get a tic-tac-toe, we keep going until all 9 are filled. That's how we play. So, Trisha said that Steve goes first. So I guess that's just going to be what it is. Steve, take it away.
This is why I lose, by the way.
Yes, it is.
I'll go with 1, please.
Top left.
Number 1, and who is your expert, Annie or Brad?
I'm going to go with Brad.
All right.
Brad, there's turmoil in Rome. Isn't that a great start?
Yes.
This is a great question.
That's the whole question.
What do you think?
Disagree.
Fox News, the headline 2 days ago read, quote, outspoken pro-abortion governor gets speaking slot at Vatican summit. Who is this governor? Outspoken pro-abortion governor gets speaking slot at Vatican summit.
Oh, I got 2 governors that are outspoken and pro-abortion in my mind. And I think it's either going to be J.B. Pritzker or Gavin Newsom. So I'm going to go with J.B. Pritzker.
J.B. Pritzker. Steve?
I have no idea, and your lack of confidence makes me uncomfortable.
2 good guesses.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I agree.
You're going to agree because
I
he's
changed my mind at the
uncomfortable?
last minute.
Man.
He wanted you to
Brad's
be the wrong
never
one,
taking
not
me
him.
the wrong direction
Yeah.
before.
You 2 guests are just sort of going down a path, and then you veer off at the last second with your logic.
Anybody's game.
Yeah.
A 1 in 50 shot. Well, a little less than that.
Well, you agreed with him, and that was incorrect.
Oh.
Yes.
It was Gavin Newsom.
Good job, guys.
You were right on it, all around it, and yet the square goes to Trisha.
Should have gone
I
with my
should
gut.
have known that God would have wanted Gavin Newsom there.
Steve, are you X's or O's?
I don't know if that's really what it is.
I'm not sure.
Right in the middle of the target.
I'll be an O.
You making her get up?
Number 1.
Steve. She's about to deliver a child.
Mhm.
Right now, it's actively happening.
Put that O in
That
that
would be-
far corner over
That
there.
would be amazing
Trisha.
if that actually took place now.
Oh yeah, if you on my show,
Yeah, right now. But we need to do like a promo for it.
That's how rumors get started.
Except we're nowhere close to prepared for such an action.
On second thought,
Okay,
My turn.
back to you, Trisha.
All right, let's go with number 3, top right, and Annie.
yay.
Number 3, top right. Annie, you have stumbled into AI. So this is a real clip from the week run through AI. I did this one a little bit differently, so this is actually the
Great.
person. I just altered their voice this week a little bit.
Okay.
Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Most politicians, they will run from the truth. They will shy away and hide from making tough decisions. I don't do either of those.
Wait, don't laugh. It was hard enough without your laugh. All I heard was tough decisions.
Tough decisions. Yeah, that setting is called Angry Gerbil.
Okay. Didn't sound angry. It sounded pretty cute to me.
You want to hear it again?
I'd like to hear it for the first time.
Here you go.
Most politicians, they will run from the truth. They will shy away and hide from making tough decisions. I don't do either of those.
That's Governor Kristi Noem.
Okay.
Okay, she seems pretty confident.
I mean,
I have to agree.
You have to agree. All right, here's the answer.
Most politicians, they will run from the
Nice
truth.
job.
They will
Yeah.
Shy away and hide from making tough decisions. I don't do either of those.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's talking
I
about
could
her
tell
dog
at the
there.
end when she said those.
Those? Yeah.
Those. The gerbil sounded like it was a Dakotan.
Yeah.
I don't do either of those.
So it's a Minnesotan gerbil.
Yeah. You know, they're a little different.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's called Minnesota Nice. While they're stabbing you in the back.
Now, again, logic here. She's the governor of South Dakota, though.
Yeah.
So not Minnesota.
It actually is the same
It's
thing.
all the same.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's the same.
Bless your, it's the Southern bless your heart.
All right, fine. Steve?
I'm going to avoid the block.
Ryan, bless your heart.
Thank you.
I'll take number 2.
I think.
Ooh, I
Top
hope you
middle.
Get this wrong.
Who's answering?
I'm going to go with Annie.
Okay.
Number 2 for the block. Donald Trump was very graciously granted permission by a judge in New York to attend his own son Barron's high school graduation on May 17th in Florida. Barron, who is a giant, is over under 6'9". Is he over or under 6'9"?
I think he's like 6'9.5", probably, but I think he is over 6'9".
Over 6'9".
I'm like 60% confident about that.
Steve?
He's 6'9".
Yes.
No, but that's the question. Is he under 6'9" or over? And she's saying over.
Oh, Annie.
No. What you meant was Ryan,
No.
not Annie.
No.
I think that he's like a 6'10".
Bless your heart.
Right back at you, bud. But you were surprised that he's tall to begin with?
No, I thought he was tall, but 6'9".
Yeah, it's huge.
He's like a 14.
He's 17.
17.
He's graduating from high school. That's part of the question.
He's like 6.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree.
You're going to agree that he's over 6'9". And X gets the square for Trisha.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he is 6.
Tic-tac-toe. A winner.
Do you know
A
when
winner.
Hannah's going to be here?
He is 6'7" for the
6'7"?
record, which is still very tall.
This is totally go back and fact check verifiable that he could be wrong. I'm going to do that next time Brad has to answer a question.
Hey, Siri. How old?
That's all.
No, how old is Barrett? Ask that one.
What's your source? I mean, like, what is the official
It was
source?
just like the internet.
You just eyeballed it?
Yeah. I viewed him in
Guess.
light of Donald Trump. And I'm like, he looks about 6'7".
I looked at him and he was standing next to a dollar bill.
Yeah.
And I was able to use that
He walked out of a restaurant.
to calculate his height.
And I looked at the measurement next door. All right. Trisha.
All right, let's go number 9, bottom right, and Brad.
Okay.
People magazine says he's 6'7", so that's probably pretty legit.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I got to.
All right. The internet comes through again. Trisha says number 9. And did you pick somebody?
I said Brad.
You said Brad. Okay. This one has some sound, Brad.
All right.
This famous rocker is undergoing stem cell treatments. Here's a little clip of one of his songs. He says he's hoping not to fall over on stage. Who is it?
Dream big.
Okay, that sounds like Ozzy Osbourne.
Ooh, that tracks. I don't know anything about the song. I know you wanted me to get that one.
I did. I was disappointed
Sorry
when you
to
said Brad.
disappoint you.
I'm going to agree with Brad.
You're going to agree?
Yeah.
Well, you've had a pretty good track record so far, so might as well stick with that and make the whole board X's.
All right. 50 points. Put it there.
Steve?
All right.
I'd like to go home.
It's Steve's turn.
You're going to
and
get
it
off
is-
the O's there?
Yeah, 0 for 4 right now.
Man.
But there's still room for you to get the last 5 squares, which would also include a tic-tac-toe. So let's
Number
take... No, we're going to take a break because
Oh.
the people are going to listen through your commercial break here, Steve.
What a tease.
Sit on the edge of your seats,
See what you
folks.
did there?
You too cannot leave, Steve. You have to stay as well.
If you're interested in any Patriot stuff,
Exactly. Let's take a quick break. We'll wrap up X's and O's with Steve and Trisha here in studio when we come back. Don't go away.
It's alright, whoa, it's alright. Now we gonna move it slow. Up in the lights are low. When you move it slow, it feels like a moan. Cause it's alright, whoa, it's alright.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at igotfloored.com. Shopping for flooring is incredibly simple. You can start it on the website and look at all of the different types of products that they have available to you. If you're looking for flooring, Michael's Flooring Outlet has you covered. Laminate tile, luxury vinyl, waterproof flooring, natural stone. They have glass tile, carpet. If you're looking for the Mohawk Smart Strand line, which is a very good quality line of carpeting, very durable, wonderful silk fibers that go into that carpeting line for you. Michaels is going to walk you through all the options that you have, but they're also going to make sure that they pair value with quality products. They are located in 3 different places in St. Louis. They are in St. Charles County on Main Street in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. You can find them in West County as well. They're right there on Olive Boulevard, just a mile off of 270 West on Olive. And they also have a location, Simplifying, in Darding Prairie. All that information is available at igotfloored.com. You can even request an estimate and check out reviews from other satisfied customers and people who Michael's Flooring Outlet has seen it all the way through to make sure that they will come back again for their flooring purchase. Online at igotfloored.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
Hey everyone, Boomer Esiason here. The NFL Draft is behind us and your favorite team is now gearing up for week number 1. The free Odyssey app puts you right in the middle of the pro football conversation with the biggest sports radio stations from across the country. The local voices who know your team the best, giving you their unfiltered takes on the current state of your squad. It's always football season on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today.
Tune in to the Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts, Saturdays 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 for expert advice on remodeling, design, and construction. This live Q&A show begins at noon, or find podcasts at mosbybuildingarts.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Well, there's a lot to celebrate this month. Graduations, the end of the school year approaching, barbecues, warm weather months ahead. Celebrate, though, in a clean home by calling my cleaning heroes and pros at Zero Res. They've been in my house I don't know how many times over the last decade. They always knock it out of the park, and that goes for the carpets and the ductwork. You know them maybe as the zero residue carpet cleaners that don't leave behind any of the dirt-attracting soaps and chemicals. Don't risk what the other guys do or don't do it yourself. Don't DIY because it's going to end up soaked for days and actually do more damage than good. So do it the right way with Zero Res, and right now get 3 rooms of carpet, Zero Resified, starting at just $129. Take $50 off your air duct cleaning package. Now, you have to mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. You can book very easily if you call 314-474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com. But make sure you mention my name or the station. Zero Res. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Don't miss out on the May special with Zero Res.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Keeping you connected and aware. In the world, the country, and the community. And offering more ways than ever to listen conveniently. Tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk or download the Odyssey app.
Damn, I used to love this view.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Another touchdown. Man, this year's team is stout. I can hear them going crazy. And up here, so am I. Thinking about you sitting there saying, I hate this, I hate it. If you couldn't stand living here, why'd you take it? Take it, yeah.
When it comes to picking your vice president in 2024, the choice is clear.
Always ask, is there a Venn diagram for this? I'm telling you, it's fascinating when you do.
Kamala Harris.
Venn diagram, those 3 circles, right?
Or Dan Quayle.
The vice president gave students a spelling test.
Potato.
The boy wrote the word correctly, but Mr. Quayle wasn't satisfied until he had added an E.
Kamala loves potatoes, and she's running this year. Dan Quayle isn't.
We all need a mom. We need you to be Mamala of the country.
Your mama so Kamala, she got elected VP.
My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
She's relatable.
Hey, raise your hand if you went to school on a school bus, right?
And she'll make America electric again.
I love electric school buses. I just love them for so many reasons. Maybe because I went to school on a school bus.
Make America work again.
Workers are building electric buses so people can get where they need to go.
And make America laugh again.
I love your laugh.
The choice for VP this year is clear. Dan Quayle. He's not running, but wouldn't he be better? Paid for by Quayle Dan Pack.
Man, you can succeed when you put your mind to it, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
I had to stop laughing on the mic because I was confusing my own laugh with Kamala's, and I almost just quit my job.
Yeah, that's a real meta moment.
Todd, get Todd back in here.
All right.
Steve's turn. Steve, I needed to lighten the mood for you here a bit. You're getting your butt kicked.
That was amazing. Thanks.
You're welcome. Just like Dan Quayle.
The cameras are on, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they got to see me flip off the board a couple minutes ago.
We all heard it. We all felt it, Steve.
Yeah.
I'll go with number 5.
This could be the best comeback ever.
You're right. It could be, Steve.
Yeah.
It's not going to be.
Look at it that way.
Brad
Number
and I have
5.
to decide if we want to sabotage Trisha a little bit here.
I think you should sabotage Steve. It's kind of fun.
He's doing a good job himself.
Actually, the 2 of you guys are screwing me over.
No, not on purpose.
Where's Leah?
Yeah, exactly. No.
All right. This one is, normally we do an audio whoopee. This one is an audio whoops. On Wednesday, we talked about insurrection while Chuck Schumer chose to call it something else.
There will be a trial, and when that trial ends, senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the insurrection.
And
True.
It's the only explanation.
I was really just looking for an excuse to play it again. There it is.
Never gets old.
He doesn't take world events seriously, obviously. His niece does, though, as she was criticized by the far left for her support of Israel this week, saying there is, quote, razor-sharp scrutiny for Israel, but not on Hamas. Who is this relative of Chuck Schumer?
Who did he pick?
Yeah, I was wondering the
It's a
same
good
thing.
question. I don't remember. Who did you pick?
I'm going to go
backwards.
Brian got so excited for that question.
Like, oh, I gotta play it.
Couldn't control
Whoa.
himself.
It's a little premature there, Ryan.
Yeah. It was, wasn't it?
Just popped right up.
Your questions kind of have all these veers in them, so I have to kind of stay super focused.
Yeah, it's a long and winding road.
Yeah, once we get past Chuck Schumer, I figured it had nothing to do with him anymore. So,
and it doesn't really. Well, I mean, in a way, it's his niece who was criticized for saying these things this week.
But who's answering?
And who is answering?
Brad.
Have we determined?
Amy,
Brad.
Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer. True. Yay! Look at
I'm
you.
on the board. I'm on the board.
Good job.
If he's going to get one, that's the one to get. Right in the middle.
Yep.
Well done, boss.
Right down the center lane there. And back to Trisha.
I don't care how many tic-tac-toes you get.
It's going to be 6.
Number 6.
Middle right.
All right.
Going
Yeah, that
back
one.
to Annie.
Center right.
That one would make it, I think, impossible for Steve to win if he got this one.
Why are you talking like that?
Yeah, because I'm still thinking about it, and I just want to say it in this voice, just
This
in
is
case.
this is the voice in your head?
Yeah, that's my voice head. My head voice. That's my voice head.
That's the question.
I'm going to have to check to see if you can
28
say that on the
minutes.
radio.
I think we need to dump the whole hour.
That and the Schumer clip.
Did you choose who's answering?
I did.
Yes,
Annie.
me.
Just making sure.
Welcome to the game,
6.
host.
And welcome to an audio whoopee.
Okay. Hope
This
it's a gerbil.
is Governor Ron DeSantis
Ooh.
talking about the fruits of a particular ideology.
We've also led on fighting back against this that you see in corporate America and particularly in higher education.
Annie, in the bleep, he says 3 letters.
Yeah. DEI.
What letters are they?
DEI.
Oh, that was kind of fast.
I agree with her.
Oh,
We
here-
answered really quickly.
Here's the answer.
We've also led on fighting back against this DEI that you see.
Good job, everybody. Great work.
Thank you.
Back to Steve now.
She was never that confident about the 6'9" thing.
I told you I wasn't. I was honest.
Steve, it is your turn.
Annie,
Yeah.
let's roll.
Okay.
And what question?
Oh, yeah.
You know.
7.
7. All right, Annie.
Mm-hmm.
A rare bipartisan effort in Congress was successful. The USDA was thinking about changing the classification of this famous food, moving it out of the vegetable category, but now it will remain a vegetable. Bipartisan effort in Congress was successful in keeping this food classified as a vegetable. What food was it?
Ketchup.
Ketchup. Steve?
I think she's trying to help you here.
I'm going to go no.
You are?
Yes.
Okay, well, you got it. Good job.
Well done.
Is ketchup a vegetable?
There are
Who was it?
actual school lunch programs who will be like, "What's your vegetable?" And they'll be like, "Ketchup." And it's like,
There was a president that said that. Oh, was it?
What's the answer?
Feels very GW.
There was a vice
Yeah.
president that misspelled this
Broccoli.
word. No,
Potatoes.
it was potatoes.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, it was potatoes.
well done.
Is it
Potatoes are
veggie?
still a vegetable.
I could
Everyone
see
involved?
Clinton struggling with whether ketchup was a vegetable
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably where it came from.
at McDonald's.
He was there quite a bit. I
Trisha.
recall.
All right.
Reagan.
You blocked my chances at another tic-tac-toe. All right, number 8, bottom middle, and Brad.
All right, let's do this.
Brad, here's another audio whoopee.
Yay.
Jerry Seinfeld called out the left.
You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people.
Seinfeld never seems to care and says whatever he wants, partially because he's ridiculously rich, Brad, and also because he just passed a major milestone birthday on Monday. How old is Jerry Seinfeld? And it was in the news.
70.
That was going to be my guess, too.
I guessed what you guessed.
Our brains are in sync with the guessing, but neither of us know. I'm going to agree just because that was my first thought. Good job, Brad. Thank you.
Jerry
Good guess.
Seinfeld is 70 years old?
Yes. I was shocked, too. That is really surprising because he really doesn't look much different.
No. He looks fantastic. It goes to show you that if you have lots of money, you
Yep.
can really stay looking
Age
good.
gracefully.
All right. One square left, Steve.
It all comes down to this, Steve.
All right, I'll take number 8.
Are either of us available? Or I'd go 3 if I were you.
You got to give him credit for trying.
Brad, are we both available? Or
Yep.
is it?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll take 4.
And who's answering?
I'll go with Annie.
Okay.
All right, Annie, everything's on the line here.
Catch up.
Not really. We already lost.
Yeah, sorry. Just a little bit of pride.
Remember that 6'9" thing?
Yeah, sorry.
Kind of
I
found a
do.
theme here, actually, with these two questions. LeBron James and the Lakers were knocked out of the NBA playoffs earlier this week. ESPN Insider reports James intends to opt out of the last year of his contract and become a free agent. At least they did when I wrote this
Transfer
question.
portal?
Yeah.
Okay.
How old is LeBron James?
Oh man, Steve, do you know the answer to this?
No, I know the ballpark.
34.
All right, I disagree.
That is correct. It is
38.
Ooh, you're right on it. 39.
30. I thought that he and I were the same, but I thought you couldn't be in the NBA when you're that old. 'Cause when's his birthday? Is he in 84?
Good question. I didn't look up when it was. I just know that it is right now.
He's 39 though.
He's 39 right
I
now.
was thinking yeah, I literally thought that, and I'm like, there's no way you could be this old and in the NBA, and clearly I'm wrong. Just gotta
He's
flop
still-
a lot.
He's still great, too.
Just
That's
ask
what's
him.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. I think Trisha may. Let me look at the board one more time to be sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Two tic-tac-toes and 6 squares. Trisha, well done.
Thank you.
Steve
Thank
is
you.
documenting this for the future. Next time he has
I'm
to
going to
force
focus.
Next time I'm going to focus my artistic efforts on
Brad,
Steve's name.
I'm going to need my invitations on Monday. So I
Steve
have
studies.
all week long to focus.
There you go.
I will do that.
Thank you both for doing this. We appreciate it,
Yep.
and we'll have you back again soon. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, the results to the YouTube live chat poll and any other stories we might have missed. Join us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote. Tell us, do you karaoke? And then you can let us know in the comments if you like maybe a Annie Fry Show karaoke charity event coming up soon. We'll be right back.
Sleepy street lights on every sidewalk, side street.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Don't ever think that
Follow
you
Annie on
should
Twitter
be
at Annie Fry Show.
me back my hometown, 'cause this is my hometown.
The Diamond Shop knows Mother's Day is right around the corner, and they can solve not really problems, but you do have an obligation. Let's be real about it. They have great sales for you right now to make sure that you nail the Mother's Day gift this Mother's Day, and you get to save a little bit of money while you're doing it. 40% off all in-stock jewelry, plus a VIP free mom heart pendant with jewelry purchase. Go online to thediamondshop.net. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the homepage. Fill out that quick little form. You're a VIP at the Diamond Shop. They're located in Clayton right now, and I love going into the store and seeing all the beautiful things that they have available. Really unique pieces, custom-made jewelry that they do, and just like the staples that you want to invest in for yourself or for someone you love, like beautiful diamond stud earrings that you can trade up and grow with as you grow in life. They also have watches. They do fine jewelry. They do, of course, engagement and wedding rings, and they buy gold. They are there to help you through any jewelry need that you have, but that pressing one, probably Mother's Day, mom, grandma, take care of them this May holiday, Mother's Day, and make sure that they know how special they are with something that will be special to them. You can find them online at thediamondshop.net.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, But those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Mike Carter here. Too often we lose sight of how fortunate we are to live in Missouri. When I travel out of state on business, people say, Mike Carter, what's so special about Missouri? Well, let's start with the mighty Mississippi and Missouri rivers traversing the state. They were the superhighways of the day, used by French fur trappers and traders. Later, American settlers like Daniel Boone and waves of pioneers drove their teams and wagons along the Booneslick Trail he blazed. Carter Law Offices right now, founded by me, Mike Carter, started and is on Booneslick Trail near where those intrepid settlers crossed the Missouri to harness the land. Rich soils and generations of farm families like my own grandparents made Missouri the breadbasket of America. Drive a few minutes outside our cities and towns, and you'll find yourself passing miles and miles of undulating wheat and corn, farms and ranches that feed our nation. I'm Mike Carter, and I'm proud to live and work in the Show Me State, a place God blessed just a little bit more. Go to MikeCarter.com to see more about our great state of Missouri.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seating is limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you close to retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned about more market volatility the closer we get to the election? Would you like to know how linking to the market is smarter and safer than owning the market? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any losses and provide more income than your current plan? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect that retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Come see our waterfront in Wild Horse Village in the new downtown Chesterfield. You have to see it to believe it, and then you will understand why it is the fastest selling luxury community in all of St. Louis. Our unique modern designs are like nothing St. Louis has seen. Only a handful of home sites remain. Experience the ultimate lifestyle at the waterfront. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today. Hurry before you miss this opportunity.
If you're looking for a senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville. Mark Cox here. It is resort-style living without the resort-style price. Take Highway 70 to the Lake St. Louis exit. Schedule your appointment today at wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
I'm excited to tell you that now is the time to call in if you want to win free Cardinals tickets. The game is May 8th versus the Mets. That is next Wednesday. The phone number that you call to win is 314-241-9797. Be the 8th caller, 314-241-9797. And we'll give you the results of the YouTube live chat poll here in just a couple minutes. Do you karaoke? Yes, and I sing. Yes, but I don't sing. And no way. There's your three options. We'll give you the results here in just a minute. 2:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Patriot Training Foundation trains law enforcement and military at the region's top facility free of charge. Kim Sainanj here. We're raising awareness for the Patriot Training Foundation's mission to serve those who serve our nation. Visit 971talk.com/care to learn more.
Wonder where I've been. I searched to find.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Donald Trump just exited the courtroom and spoke to the media, so we're going to listen in and see what he had to say. It's pretty much the only time you get to hear him talk. Let's go ahead.
To comment on any of that, as you know, I'm under a gag order, which is very unprecedented. But I will say this, that the government, DOJ, et cetera, And in particular, lately, this office of DA, which is letting crime, violent crime, run rampant all over our city. What they've done to people in my company, they've been after us for years. You take a look at what's happened for years. The Democrats, the radical left, they've been after us for years, and they've destroyed people's lives. They've gone out and hired lawyers. They've been with lawyers for years, being sucked dry. And it's a shame. It's a shame what they've done to this country. And it's a shame what they've done to a lot of great people that have been absolutely ruined and destroyed, not only here, all over. These are vicious, vicious, radical left lunatics. The DA here is Soros backed. They shouldn't be wasting time on this. Look what they do to so many people. They're all lawyered up. That's all they do, lawyer up. In the meantime, you can't do anything in the country. The country's going to hell. They have no time. They have no anything left because they're always under siege. It's a terrible, terrible thing happening in our country. And hopefully, November 5th, the most important day in the history of our country, in my opinion, that's called Election Day. Hopefully it's going to change because these people are destroying our country, whether at the border, whether the horrible reports that came out today are jobs numbers with all you hear, whether inflation, which is destroying us, a lousy economy, Afghanistan, allowing Russia to attack Ukraine would have never happened. Then you take October 7th in Israel, that would have never happened. All of these things happening, and all they do is they go after people. They destroy people, and it's a shame. So I just want to wish everybody a very good weekend. I was very interested in what took place today, but I just have to say, we have a country to build. We have to rebuild it. Our country has gone to hell. We're a nation in decline. And we cannot let that happen to the USA. Thank you very much.
All right, so that's President Trump after he leaves the courtroom today. Hope Hicks, she testified today. I kind of find it hard to dig into the reaction of what happened in any given day because you're only relying on people who were in there. They have to leave, or maybe they're watching from not even inside the courtroom, but a place they can observe the courtroom. Then they got to come out and report it. So, you know, in the Fannie Willis thing, man, we were watching that thing front to back because it was unbelievable to see. We're not really getting to participate in this, so I just don't really trust any media to not take it and contort it in a way that favors whatever they assume their viewers want to see it or the way they need their viewers to or listeners to see it. So, but we'll continue watching it, and that's why I think it's important to take Trump's words as they are. I don't know if the MSNBCs of the world and the CNNs of the world are going to be able to keep not airing Donald Trump. We don't know. I'd be interested to know. I'd have to go back and look. Like for stuff like this, do they take these?
It's a good question. I would guess that they don't, but I don't know for sure.
They always, whenever they were doing, if there's a primary or something on a Tuesday, and if they took any part of it, if they did, they usually didn't. They just all sit and like nervously cackle about, well, let's get the fact checkers out here. Yeah, we're going to have them working overtime. Blah, 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 blah. You know, here we have a situation where you have thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans going, this is our guy. And the contempt that these people in media have, not just for Donald Trump, but for you for being such a rube to support him. I mean, that really comes through when you hear a lot of the criticism that people have for folks who would support Donald Trump. I know that there are people who are not going to vote for Donald Trump that will vote for Joe Biden, who have principled reasons why they think that a specific policy that the Republicans are engaging in is absolutely the wrong way to go, and that the Democrats have a much better way to go. And it's more about that than it is about Orange Man bad, let's go Brandon, all of the kind of pep rally noise that goes around any sort of political campaign. Those are the people I know in real life. I haven't met people online that are really substantive in their arguments for or against these particular candidates. Donald Trump definitely brings him out of the woodwork, but is he saying anything that surprises you? It doesn't surprise me.
Nothing from that. Well, actually, the only thing that surprised me out of there is in the midst of, it's very typical Trump, in the midst of saying, look, we're a nation in decline, that he's willing to say that, first of all. And I think that he's saying it because you're feeling it. And to kind of put roses all over everything and wrap yourself in the stars and the stripes at this moment, it doesn't feel genuine. And when he says that, I identify with it. But the thing that made me laugh was in the midst of saying all those things, he goes, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Looking forward to the weekend. So it's just typical Trump. It's like stream of consciousness. But I like that he says that.
It's easier to understand Donald Trump's delivery when you understand that he is commanding the room when he speaks. When he's talking, nobody else is talking, and he will overtalk you. He will out-talk you. That's why he doesn't punctuate his sentences. In a room like this, if we're having a conversation, in order for you to listen to a radio show with 3 people in the room, we have to wait for one another to put the punctuation at the end of the sentence so that the next person can jump in and carry the conversation on or find out how, make sure that the full point was made. And sometimes, we jump in and get excited or whatever. But Donald Trump, when he's talking, he just keeps talking. And when he runs out of something to say, like if he's completed a thought and he's kind of done with it, he will repeat the thought. And then he'll determine when it's done. And you can tell, like, when he's saying something like what Ryan was highlighting there, that he's done. Now he needs to get off the stage. And that's easier to do in some places than others.
It's a little bit of a crutch probably, too, that he's like, I've said what I needed to say, but there's one more thing I wanted to say. But you got to, just a couple seconds to gather his thoughts again. And let me say, he's a good guy, great guy, good guy, great guy. And then he goes back into a point. He just kind of fills in that spot. Like you're saying, he just commands the room.
Before we get to the YouTube live chat poll today, it is my Evelyn's 8th birthday today.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
So I want to say happy birthday to the most joyful person I know. We've got volleyball practice tonight. I've talked about volleyball practice. We spent an hour with the 2nd and 3rd grade team, and then I have the 6th through 8th grade team after that. And Evelyn just loves being around her people. You know how some people are interested in introverts and extroverts, right? Like she is an extrovert through and through and through. She just loves to be around people. She loves to make people happy, and she makes herself happy by making other people happy. All of my kids have amazing gifts, and all 4 of my kids are very different, and we're constantly watching Molly as she's growing because she'll be 3 in June. So I have my birthday's in April, Evelyn's is in May, Molly's is in June, Jensen's is in July, and then the boys are December, January. And so we just kind of go on birthday once my birthday happens. And when I look at each of my kids, when you have a 14-year-old, my son, he is the only boy. So the boy things are with Charlie. And boy things aren't sports because sports are girl things too. And it's important that we keep them separate, but yet still, of course, encourage both boys and girls to participate in it. But the way that my son is successful in sports and enjoys it and the way I enjoy watching him participate in sports is different than what my oldest daughter, Jensen, what she applies herself to when she plays sports. They just approach it incredibly differently. Molly, she's almost 3. She's going to be 3 in a little bit over a month, 5 weeks. But Evelyn, man, this girl is just the brightest spot in my life. And there is a ray of sunshine. I think it's important. It's really shown me, just in general about people, to have this person that I helped create that isn't so incredibly different than me. Like the way that God ordains us to be in his image, but have this brightness that you get to share with people, and watching her do it and know that even the things that she's willing to do, the way she talks to people, when I've talked about young children talking to their teachers about everything that goes on at home. I have said this so many times, and people have said to me, we have no secrets, because Evelyn is there to just talk you up and share a bright spot with you. So I just wanted to say to Evelyn today, happy birthday. 8 feels a lot older than 7 to me.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I kind of feel this every year.
7 does that to 6 too. doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think 6 did it to 5.
Yeah, maybe.
It's difficult. It's difficult for me as a mom, and I the thing that I'm trying to like mentally actively work on the most is learn how, and I've talked about this before in the show, is learn how to take these big milestones, and birthdays are always big milestones, to take them and reflect on them and not get burdened down by them, because it's the passage of time, which is another Kamalism. She's talked a lot about it. I didn't understand it when she did. Hopefully this makes more sense. But just watching time pass, watching my kids grow up, there's this amount of incredible pride and happiness that I have watching them. And then there's like the complete and total counter of it. But today's Evelyn's day. And on a day like today, she reminds me to be joyful. So I'm choosing that today. And remember, I had her on May 3rd because I would not have her on May 4th. Because my child was not going to be a May the 4th be with you child. And we're blessed this year because we're not on the air during it, so we don't even have to really acknowledge it. There, it's done.
Thank you.
The YouTube live chat poll, do you karaoke? 13% of you said yes, but you're not singing. 30% said yes, and you are singing. So 43% of you said yes, 57% said no. Maybe we'll change it. If the cause is worthy enough, maybe we'll put something together with the Andy Fry Show and get us all together. Thanks for being with us today. The Mark Reardon Show, The Roundtable, coming up next on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
I want to talk to you about Air Comfort Service and how they can make the spring air that is inside of your home a little more bearable and breathable so that you aren't suffering from things like the allergy symptoms that you've been dealing with. It can also help you with pet dander that might be in your home. Do you experience bacteria and viruses or the kind of stinky odors that might plague your home? Get rid of those with a whole home air purifier by Air Comfort Service. I trust Air Comfort Service in my home. They have helped me replace my air conditioner unit, my furnace, my water heater, and they've also done an AeroSeal duct sealing in my home. Every single time, the best of quality and service and products. I trust them, and I trust them enough to give you the opportunity to for them to earn your business because they're good people and they do great work. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, and call them for a free estimate on that whole home air purifier online at aircomfortservice.com.
Mortgage rates have finally dropped. That's right. Golden Oak has 5.375% fixed rates available right now. Our average cash-out customer saves over $1,000 a month. Call today and take advantage of our 5.375 fixed rate. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.934 APR. FHA 15-year 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The choice of a lawyer is an important